Yeah, bro. Right, come on up. You coming up? Come on then. Ready, up. What if I get you one of these? And I just put it down in here. Can you go get it? Oh, you barely came up. Fred the dog's here. And he's been a wee silly sausage. Right, if we do this, every time my phone buzzes, he thinks there's like somebody at the door or something. He's on edge. He thinks he's been manipulated into staying here. Fred, you could be sitting brilliant like a dog, but just up here. Look, can you get this? You see it? Yeah. Look, up there. Go get it. Look, up. Up. He just changed my scene with his paw. Look, it's up. It's up. You need to look up here. But there's coffee. There is coffee, isn't there? This is maybe a bad idea. What is it they say, Freddie? Never work with animals or the other one? I don't think I will. But are you doing okay? Hi, Freddie. Are you doing okay? Yeah, good, lovely boy, aren't you? Don't think you're quite in shot. What, could you think we could fix that, or do you think we just deal with it? Maybe we fix it for next time. Let's get rid of the coffee. We don't even need to see the coffee, do we? How do we do that? Let's get rid of the coffee, eh, Freddie? Oh, he's a good boy, ain't you? Yeah, very good laddie up here. This is where I do work, ain't it? This is where I do a bit of work. You can sort of barely see Fred. Shall we cheat this down a bit and they can see all your majesty, Freddie? Because there's a lot of majesty to be seen. Yeah, do you see yourself? There we go. There we go. And you know what? We could remove this. Right. Look at us. Look at us, Freddie. You a good boy? My wee man, ain't you? Yes. And then what I could even do is, Fred, because I'm sitting on two cushions in order to get up high. I thought I had to be up high. But I don't need to be up high. So I'm on two cushions. So like, don't move around, because when I start to move the cushion, you might think that you need to move, but you don't. So what I'll do is, just put that down there, there we go. And then I think I can even remove another one. This here, Fred, was Dando's seat. Remember for Scroobius Pip's film? We had to film Dando in a car. So I bought her this car seat. Right, are we all sorted? Do you know what, Fred? I think you deserve another lamb chop. Yep. Right, we ready? We do some maths. Look at me, eyes. Freddie, what is 3 plus 1? 1, 2, keep going. 3, 4. Oh, you went for 5. I'll give you it anyway. He's no well, so we'll give him a break when it comes to that. Hello everybody, how you doing? So, if you have shared any good news, big or small, at the start of the stream, let me know what it is. My good news is we are co-streaming with Fred the dog. If anybody's got any questions for Fred, let me know how it's going. Welcome in. At the top, we've got Lucy Kelly. We've got Cater Cakes is in. Freddie. Caravore, cutting class. How's it going? Oh, Freddie, have you seen these? Have you seen these bubbles? What the hell are they? Jest Panda, how you doing? Thank you very much. Good news, I've been off work all week and I've done fuck all. Yes. That's the dream. That's the dream, isn't it, Freddie? Can I get a kissy? No? Nah, it's a paw. It's a different thing. It's a slightly different thing, isn't it? But you're a good boy. Freddie. Kissy? And then more bubbles, Freddie. Eh? Couple more bubbles. Fred's like, this is pure boring. McBain, big up the jungle is massive. McBain! What a username you've got there as well. That's good. That's very good. Hello, folks. How's it going? Welcome in. So I've got coffee and I've got a dog and I've got lots of electricity around me. How's it going, everybody? Welcome in. And hello on YouTube. Lots of people on YouTube are chatting as well, so that's interesting. Never assumed that would be a thing. Sitting on cushions to pretend you're taller than Fred, 100%. Oh, wee Fred's just lying down all nice. Oh, it's wee Fred just lying down nice just next to me. Do you know what we could do? Because I have altered my Wi-Fi, right? Took me a long time to do. But I've adjusted most of my Wi-Fi, which means that if I now do video streaming from my phone, it might work. So we could maybe even get like a wee lying down Fred cam here. But I would be quite happy for Fred every time I'm streaming to just be out of shot and just be here so that I can give him wee scratches. Wendy Kelly is on YouTube and asks, what type of dog is Fred? He is a cross between a collie and a lab. So he's got all the intelligence of a collie and all the neediness of a lab. Kate says, I kind of like the bubbles coming at you from above instead of in the face. Me too, Kate. I've told you, I'm sure, my skin got all fucked. Skincare got all, or I had to develop a skincare routine and stuff because my skin got all fucked with the bubbles. So I had to do it. Also, I have adjusted some stuff in the streaming room, right? So, yous won't really care. I wonder how I can show you this effectively. Like, you know, if I do this, you can see the reflection, right? But over here, Freddie, that's the forbidden territory. Freddie, you're down in the forbidden bit. You want to come up here? Look. What's this? Freddie, up. Goodness me, what the hell was that? 30 quid? Bowdy, thank you very much for 30 bloody quid. Bowdy just gave us 30 quid, Freddie. On Ko-fi. Thank you very, very much for doing that. Jesus Christ, I will make sure that the entirety of it goes to Fred. But thank you very, very much. Jeez, oh, Bowdy, thank you. Goodness me. Fred, do you want to come up here and everybody can see you? Because nobody can really see you down there. And I get it, you might not want to be observed. I'm a bit like that myself sometimes. Freddie doesn't want to talk to you at this time. I'm afraid that's alright. Bowdy, thank you very much. Jesus Christ. That's unreal. And because you did it on Ko-fi, I get every single penny of it. Sorry that my face just winced, but I was scratching Fred and I felt a bad bit. And it made me sad. Yeah, bro. Hiya. Do you want to come up here? Up. Fred, I want to hang out with you on my stream. But see if you make it difficult. Look. Yeah, good boy. Good boy, Eddie's there. So the deal is, right, tomorrow, do you know what's happening tomorrow, Freddie? Bright and early tomorrow, we're going to go to special animal doctors. The most special animalist doctors, right? Yes. And they know you're coming. They do. And they're going to do tests, right? So Fred's got lymphoma, which is cancer of the lymph nodes. So it's up here. We found lumps here and here. Oh, buddy, the lumps feel worse. Oh, buddy, they feel worse. Wee man. And then the vet found other lymph nodes all around them are all equally as fucked. The vet's like, and I'm like, really? She's like, and I'm like, right. So I've not told you all this. Are you listening? You paying attention? So it's not looking good, right? So there's two types of lymphoma. What they're going to do is tomorrow take some tests. They need a piss test as well. Don't know how we're going to manage that, eh? Don't know how we're going to manage that. So I think we need to go to Asda or a vet or somewhere today and get like a wee urine thing with like a lid on it. And I've got visions of like attaching it to a stick and somehow coordinating. Rachel lets Fred out. I'm already outside. I know where he pisses. I'm just going to like try and collect the piss in a cup. Fred's like, I'm not going to let you collect my piss. He's not into it. So, with lymphoma, right, you paying attention? There's two types of cells. There is T cells, and there are some other type. It's a letter. And the T cells are bad. So you don't want that type of lymphoma. You want the slightly better type. B cells, there we go. But even with the B cells, man, it's no very good news. So we're talking a couple of months, maybe like a year. And that's with the best case outcome. So I'm sort of trying to get my head around all of this sort of stuff, because it all came very, very quickly. It's all in the space of about 4 days into Freddy. So he's still very much chasing pigeons and doing all the Fred nonsense. But his breathing is a bit more laboured than what it usually is. And he's slightly off his food as well, but not massively off his food. But he's a good boy. So I thought, right, for... when was it? A couple of days ago I was supposed to do a stream. And I was going to go and do a stream, and Fred's just in the living room. And he's like, he's showing me his belly. He's like, his belly scratches, man. And I'm like, aye. So I gave him belly scratches instead of streaming. And I've no regrets, man. Fuck the lot of you. I've no regrets. I did what I had to do at the time. And then we went out and we bought a cheeseburger, didn't we? I fed him the cheeseburger. He really liked that. Don't worry, didn't give him any of the bread for the cheeseburger, because you know what I mean? That's bad for dogs. And then we went a walk. Why can't you see me here? Can't he see me on that screen? But we did go a walk. Shall I try and fix that just now? Let Fred host the stream today. Well, I would like to, but he's away. He's now just away. Hello, Macaroni Prince. How you doing? It's good to see you in. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. How's it going? Bowdy, thank you very much for 30 bloody quid. So we find out tomorrow. I'm working at 10:45 tomorrow, and the appointment is at 9. And I just hope I'm going to be in a good headspace for work. You know what I mean? I'm on solo tomorrow, so I'm the only person covering the show that I'm outputting. If I was on the other show, I could just be like, listen, and they would get it and it would be fine. But I kind of need to be, well, I'm switched on every day I'm in work, obviously. But we will see how it goes. Anyway, I've got some technical boring stuff to update you with. I got a circular polarising filter, everybody. Very excited about that. I also fixed my GBSC AIO, and I fixed it by cable tying some rubber stoppers to either side of it, which is a bit hacky, but that worked, and I'll tell you all about that if for anybody that wants to hear about it. What's that for? So's that when I'm playing my PlayStation or my Mega Drive behind me, I can feed an output into the computer over there. Freddie, do you know why you come up and hang out with me, Freddie? Freddie, don't want to get a bit more roast, but your time's limited, and I suggest you spend it next to me, pal. I think he's just behind me. I think he's just lying down in a wee private spot down there. It's maybe a bit bright for him as well. One thing I did was I've made him lots of dens. So in all the rooms that he likes to go in, I've made like a den for him. and he's using them, and so that's good. But it gives him more locations for to hide like wee naughty things that he's stolen. He's still stealing naughty things and stuff, and still very much a dog. Freddy, aye, he's just hanging out under this table, so he's happy there. He's absolutely happy there. But aye, there we go. Fred the dog, everybody. Nora's Day, thank you very much for the hydrate redemption. I do need a hydrate redemption because I'm feeling a bit lightheaded. As it happens, I don't really have any water or anything, so what I'm going to do is just take some of this. So sorry that the whole stream setup is a bit ski-whiff just now. But look, it is what it is. Use an empty pot noodle cup to catch the piss. I could do, but psychosomatic, imagine that I don't wash it out correctly, right? And then they're doing a piss analysis in the vet place, and they're like that. Oh, I've found out what's wrong with this dog. And they're like, what's wrong with the dog? Too much chicken and mushroom. You know what I mean? I wonder if a used pot noodle container might contaminate the piss somehow. I don't know how this works. Maybe I should ask the woman. Sorry if anyone has said, but is stream slightly OOS? What's OOS? OOS. Out of sync? A wee bit interesting. I'll just try and not move my mouth too much like that and it'll be fine. I've updated Wavelink, Elgato Wavelink. Haven't done anything else. It's teeny, well, enough for you. I'll try and just throw my audio so that it's behind my lips. It's barely in, I wouldn't worry about it. Well, if it's still there during the next stream, that's a massive concern to me. Freddy, you want to come back up here, man? Oh, Mo, just go back up here. Mo, just come back up here. I can give you scratches, belly scratches. Praise that. What do I want to talk about first? Right, check this out. I got a circular polarizing filter, right? Because if I'm on the computer and I'm looking at stuff on this monitor, right? You can see what the stuff is because of this new telly behind me. So you can see the reflection of what's on the monitor. And one way of reducing reflections in photography or when you're wearing glasses or whatever is to use a polarizing filter. So I've applied it. I think I've lost about half a stop of light, but that's all right. I just upped the ISO a wee bit, so it may be slightly grainier, maybe slightly higher contrast, but the end result is, right, check this out. Ah shit, yous have been chatting away. My chat stopped scrolling, and I didn't realise yous have all been chatting throughout all of this. Anyway, I refreshed and quit the telly app a few times. The phone app is fine. It's probably on Twitch's side then, but thanks very much. Hold on, it looks like people are saying stuff in chat that I need to read. I haven't really been reading what you're saying. What's Alexis Max saying? I can't follow the chat, but I hope everybody's alright. Goodness me, Super Sausage Fish, thank you very much for subbing. Welcome in. Freddy, Super Sausage Fish is in. I think that's an animal. I think that's a dog. I think that's an eyeball, Freddy. Do you want to come up and see maybe an animal? Could be anything. Honestly, could be anything. I don't know. Goodness me. Base Embrace, thank you very much for 20 quid. Fucking hell. Thank you very, very much. What I'm going to do, and I'm not asking for money for it because I think I'm insured. I'm pretty sure I'm insured. And if I'm not insured, I will let you know about it. But Bowdy's cash and Base Embrace, your cash, I'm going to put into the Freddy Fund, right? Because even though I'm insured, this is going to cost a wee bit of money, I believe. Even if I end up getting it back via insurance. So thank you very much. That'll definitely help. I appreciate that. Roll Duke, I've got a new seat because I had Fred the dog here, but he's busy, man. See the schedule of Fred the dog, you wouldn't believe. So he's away doing other stuff, aren't you? I think he's just not feeling very well. I specifically asked for you to not use that for Fred. Well, I'm very sorry, but this is the way it's going to go. Base and Brace, thank you very much for the coffee. So I've got a circular polarizing filter. It cost me £7 for AliExpress, right? And what does it do? I will tell you, right? I can rotate it. So right now it's in this orientation, right? And see if I rotate it to that orientation, look at the reflections. You might see them on my skin and in the background. But for folk that don't know what a circular polarizing filter is, check this out. You're not really seeing much. Do you see my skin's hella shiny? Look here. See all this shiny nonsense? Right? So I didn't get it for my skin, but it's got like a side effect of it. So look at how shiny and sweaty I look, right? But then if I move this down to about here, oh, all of that seems to all have fixed itself. So do I want to look shiny and sweaty again? Shine mode activated. And if I put it back down here, job's a good one. So you can't really see the objective, right, when the camera's facing down. I've got the camera in Fred orientation, right? But previously, you could see this screen. I wonder if we could put something big in the screen and you could maybe see a reflection of it. Alright, so if I go to google.com, that's not white anymore. What's a white website? Amazon. Amazon.co.uk. There we go. So here previously, or let's maybe make it easier, right? So if I scroll that website, you can see it here, can't you? You can see me scrolling the website. I hope this bloody works. Whereas, so I can now turn down, there you go, you can't see it at all. And that was just by rotating the lens. So do you want to see it again? Yep. And then if I want to adjust, so I'm not, all I'm doing is rotating this lens here. I'm not adjusting the computer or anything. Look at that. That's some cool technology, isn't it? That's some pretty cool technology. And it's got a consequence of making my skin a bit less shiny, and I didn't know that would be the case, which is kind of cool. What else have I done? I thought you had some sort of youth filter on. No, that's not in this scene. The youth filter is on a different scene because I had that open last night as well. So I think I've still got the youth filter up. Where are we? So now if I go... I don't know. Is my virtual green screen working? Nah, it's not working either. But I've done other stuff that I can show you as well. I've got it all kicking off. Camera source. Display capture. Camera source. Camera source. Don't know. Don't know where camera source is in this list. Camera. What are the other cameras called? Well, there's none in this scene. Video capture device. Just call it a camera, you cocks. And then there we go. Anyway, he'll be even more out of sync. This guy right here will be even more out of sync. So I pursue and relax as Max. I hope yous are doing good. Polarizing filters are mostly used to change the colour of bears, I believe. That's solid patter. That's a wee bit of solid patter. I set up a thing last night, right, where the output of my monitors... Goodness me, Cutting Class, thank you very much for a tenner. Thank you very, very much. Cheers. I appreciate these coffees, everybody. Thank you very much. As part of our compliance programme for the UK Online Safety Acts, adult Xbox accounts must verify their age to keep full access to social features like chat and invites. Starting early 2026, these features will be limited until you verify, though you will still be able to access your account, purchases in games and achievements. I would just opt out of that. I wouldn't even try and trick it. I would just not comply. I'm not going to comply. Cutting class, thank you very much. And I appreciate all the coffees, everybody. Hello, B. Dolan, how you doing? B. Dolan, the tables have turned. Well, what was actually... Freddie, do you want to come and see B. Dolan? You like him. Remember you smelled his beard? Do you remember? Freddie B. Dolan. You come and see him? Fred's currently hiding under this table. So I've set this up so that he can be here and I can just give him scratches when I'm on stream. Because I feel bad about leaving him in the other room when I'm on stream. So I've set it all up so that he can be here. And then, you know what I mean? He's just like, I would rather not be up there. So I've built him wee dens everywhere. And he's just kicking about. It's like that, bung all your games on a big hard drive way forward. Well, I've bunged all my games on a small hard drive. So this here is a Mega Drive. And there's an SD card in the top that contains every game that's ever been made ever. And I've, in the background, been working on technology that allows me to play that on this screen here, but also using this device that I managed to fix last night using cable ties and rubber stoppers. This device will allow me to output 2 instances of the Mega Drive, so one of them will go into the computer and you can watch the real Mega Drive setup. And that's not all. I've done the same thing for the PlayStation. So I modified the PlayStation, and instead of a what's it called, disk drive, I've got a drive in with all the games on that as well. So it's all cool and it's all working cool. Freddie, do you want to come up and be my pal? Come on up then. Mon will just come up and be my pal. You coming up? Since I saw you last as well, so we've got a polarizing filter on the go. That's amazing. Know how sometimes... How do I want to start this conversation? Right. Sometimes on stream, I will strap my phone to my head and I will do techie streams, right? That seems to be the vibe when I'm working with my hands and stuff like that. I like to build things on stream. I like to do that. However, I have introduced recently these coloured lights behind me, and for various Wi-Fi reasons that I won't go into, dual band Wi-Fi, one's 2.4, the other one's 5 gigahertz. If all the 2.4 gigahertz devices are on a dual band Wi-Fi, then my phone will go into 2.4 rather than 5, but for the video to work I need it to be on 5, but if it's on 2.4 it doesn't go into 5, it goes on to 2.4. The dual band doesn't work. Yes, I have went into the settings and I've requested that it uses 5, but it doesn't take, that setting doesn't take. So what I've had to do is create a separate Internet of Things Wi-Fi SSID. All the 2.4 gigahertz devices go onto that, and then my main SSID is 5 gigahertz, and that means that hopefully, in theory, that I'll be able to stream through my phone and it'll all just work and all of that sort of stuff as well. However, in the process of moving all my Internet of Things devices onto a 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi network, that was a pain in the arse. That was a pain in the arse for all of my security cameras, for all of my lights, for all of that sort of stuff. I had to tell them you're using a new internet, and some of that was difficult, right? The most difficult part of that was this part of the stream that I use for turning lights off and on, and for doing party light, and for doing a bubble blast, right? That there is an ESP32 device that I've made myself. I coded it myself. And that was on the old Wi-Fi, and I had to give that thing the new Wi-Fi password, and it was a pain in the arse. That took me about 3 hours last night, because since I've coded it, right, all of the dependencies it used were updated, but then the updates broke things. It was just, oh, there's a new version, do it this now, and I'm like, fucking hell. So I had to like basically recode the light box. But an advantage of that is that now, with this light box, remember in the past, sometimes a bubble blast just didn't go through sometimes. Sometimes a bubble blast didn't go through. Or sometimes I pressed the light off and it didn't go off. Now it does. Look. I can turn lights and off and on whenever I want, mate. This is a good scenario. And they're very responsive. And yous won't care, right? Because the end result for you is that lights are going off and on, and you've already seen lights go off and on. But for me, I can now confidently press a button and I know that that light is going to go off. Whereas previously, it had about a 90% chance of going off or coming back on. So sometimes I'd have to like hit it a few times, and it was a pain in the arse, everybody. It was a pain in the arse. Whereas now, boom, shaka, laka, you bastard, you. I can just do this all day and it's great. So that's good news, and I'm going to maybe simplify that and stick it into a GitHub or something, and anybody that wants fancy streamlights like this but doesn't want to pay the money for them can just download my my tool and you can use it for yourself. I might put glasses on so that I feel special. Oh, these aren't my cool boy sunglasses. Have I got cool boy sunglasses over here? Aye, man, got some Linda Hamilton bastards on the go. But, yes, these Linda Hamilton sunglasses make me unable to see that output because this screen is polarised and the sunglasses are polarised. There we go, I can bring it over here. Dolan says, yeah, I've had to do shit like that to my studio lights and Wi-Fi. It's a pain in the arse, Dolan, isn't it? So what I need to do with these lights behind me is the whole vibe of turn them on, off, on, off, on, off, on, and wait till they start flashing. The brightest flash you've ever seen is just like bang, bang in your eyes like that. As you're trying to connect to a Wi-Fi hotspot thing. Shit, man. See if our ancestors had to travel in time and see the hoops we need to jump through to turn a fucking light switch on, my God, they wouldn't like it. That's what I'm saying. So I need to do that for all the lights behind me, and then I need to do that for all of these as well. So these are wee plug sockets that can switch stuff off and on, and we're nearly there. I've got a big day tomorrow, otherwise I would have finished it all tomorrow. But over the weekend, I'm not working this weekend, so over the weekend we can maybe figure something out. Bowdy says, this is why I don't do any smart home stuff. It's too close to my day job and I hate my day job. It does feel like a whole other job. The reason I can't see that monitor, so I'm going to take these off. The reason I'm doing all of this is because if I didn't code this setup, I would have to buy something that does this, and that's hundreds of pounds. That would be like 600 quid just for this functionality. And that would be extra. And a bubble blast, you can't even buy stuff that does bubble blasts. Thank you. That there, you can't buy something that does that. That needs to be a custom thing. Don't mind me, carry on. How you doing? Welcome in. Welcome in. Thank you very much for subbing. Get Freddie a little treat from me. I will do. It's interactive. Look at this. Freddie, come. Hey, up. Up, up, up. Here, this is from Don't Mind Me, Carry On. What do you think about that? Is that tasty? Yeah. Did you accidentally crash into a box? Because I heard a sound. And I think you're trying to no-sell it, aren't you? You're just like, everything's fine. Don't mind me, carry on. Thank you very, very much. So, Balbus, what are you saying, the Rod Stewart thing? What is the Rod Stewart thing? The couch and the glasses make it seem like a very low-energy podcast. That's what it feels like, man. Do you think I need to lean into just not giving a shit? Maybe I've been given too many shits, and maybe to be more popular, I just need to not give any shits. President Muffley, how you doing? Is Fred allowed a second treat? If that's unacceptable, I will settle for telling him he's a good lad. I'll see what I can do. Freddie, do you think you need a second treat? That's got his attention. First off, Freddie, President Muffley here says that you're a good lad. And second off, mate, up. This is from President Muffley. Yeah, good boy, man. Good boy. Freddie, you're coming in for the side like that guy in Mortal Kombat. Freddie! Then you just come in like that. Oh, and then away. Don't you? He's just standing there like that. What do I need to do to get another one of the wee treats? Freddie, you want to come up, up, up? He's like, I'm alright. Thank you very much, Muffley, and don't mind me carry on. I appreciate that. Google what Rod has done. I don't know if I should, man. Rod has pushed Will out of the news cycle. What the fresh hell is this? That Will Smith, man. Can I just, before we do whatever this is? Oh, I read the headline for this, but I didn't see the thing. This is bogus pish. We'll look at this in a second. Everybody, Will Smith has realised that he needs money, right? So he's trying to do music again, but he's bad at it because he's no good at it. And you need to be good at it in order, So it's quite cringy. So I've mainly been seeing Will Smith's most recent music on Reddit, right? For some reason, Reddit has been pushing me the subreddit crappy music. And in the big scheme of things, is it a problem that Will Smith is putting out crappy music? I would say yes it is, man. There's limited resources in the world, and some of us have got things that we need to do and say, right, via creative means. And others have got resources to do and say things via mediums that tend to be used by creative people. And Will Smith falls into the latter there. It's just dead cringy. He needs somebody around about him who isn't a Scientologist to just be like, listen, man, kind of be a bit self-aware, right? See if you leaned into this, could be funny. See if the lyrics were just like, I'll fucking slap you, I'm the Fresh Prince, I'm minted, right? That could maybe be a bit funny. I've got all the money in the world, I don't give a fuck, I'm Will Smith. But it's so just safe and kind of like uninspired, man. It feels like his lyrics have been written by ChatGPT, and for his image, he would just be better off not putting them out. It's actually detrimental to his image as a creative person to share this stuff. B. Dolan did an analysis of it, and he knows music, right? So he's telling you, like, well, the new conventions of, they've doubled the BPM, but then all of that. So Dolan will be able to tell you, I understood what he said, but I can't say those things. But purely for a creative venture, like, there's lots of money being spent to make it look effortless. And it doesn't look effortless. It just looks really tedious. And Will Smith, if you are watching, get in touch, man. I'll be able to steer you straight, right? Just stop all of that, right? Have a bit of patter, right? Get patter. See if you need to do some drugs or something like that. Do safe drugs. You're rich. You can afford a sitter. Just kind of disassociate for all the pish that's happening in your life. Wait, didn't your wife shag your sons? I don't know anything about that, right? I don't know anything about that. But either make good music or don't. The problem with a lot of creative ventures today is that people who can afford to participate do so, and those who can't afford to participate can't. And therefore, we've got a weird filter where most of the people headlining, or well, not headlining Glastonbury, but most of the people in festivals or are working creative people are doing it for a loss. And that is that's got a negative impact on culture currently. And you can see it everywhere. See the people that write TV shows are for that sort of background. People that can afford to make music are for that sort of background. And every now and again, somebody comes along who has had some luck or has had somebody support them or whatever, and that's when you can get some exciting things. But I think Will Smith is the personification of that whole vibe of like, oh, I'm wealthy enough to participate, so you need to endure me. And I think that's repulsive, and it's good that people are fighting back against the Will Smith thing because it isn't working. This method, at least with him, isn't working, where you will find somebody, you will try and package it to try and get some money, and you will put a lot of resources behind it. It's kind of like in wrestling, right? Lots of wrestlers are complaining nowadays that you've had people working in wrestling for decades, right? But then all of a sudden some YouTuber thinks that he can do it. But in the world of wrestling, they're allowing the YouTuber to come in and do some backflips or whatever. Annoyingly, that one guy is quite good. So I'm not talking about him, I'm talking about the other ones. The guy, the Japanese forest guy, he's annoyingly actually quite good at wrestling, right? So him aside. And but lots of older wrestlers are like, listen, I've paid my dues. I've been doing this for years. And some guy's coming in, he's going to do some spinny shit and fuck off and get paid £1 million for it. And I think a similar sort of thing's happening in music and stuff. Anyway, we're going to look at the Rod Stewart pish. Anyway. Rod Stewart as well. A lot of people think he's Scottish. Isn't Scottish. He is not Scottish. Lots of people think he's Scottish. So Barbara says, yes, please bring up the Rod Stewart AI thing. It's like the AI of dead Pope and Jesus flying about the clouds drinking wine a few months back. Here, right, I know how to use these tools. So basically, we'll watch this in a second, right? But Rod Stewart has resurrected Prince and Ozzy. Why can't you see me here? You should be able to see me here. Let me fix this because I'm going to be watching it, right? And you need to see me. I'm kind of the main event here. So if I do this, and then I do this, and then I do this, and then I do this. There we go. There we go. So now if I go here, you should be able to see me. I assume this is absolutely pish. I assume this is totally pish. Did Paul's music stop? Can you still hear music? Because I can't hear it. Maybe Paul's music was never on. Paul's music was never on. But if you want to hear good music, it's in the chat there. There you go. Anyway, let's get this playing.
Yes, projected on the screen during Rod Charlotte's show, that's Ozzy seemingly snapping selfies with fellow late singers Michael Jackson, Freddie Mercury, and Amy Winehouse. The AI-generated tribute.
It's so grotesque, it's funny. Like, it is kind of Black Mirror brass eye funny. I don't support it.
One writing, quote, "We are truly in the end times." Another.
Do you remember Kanye West for Kim Kardashian's birthday, right? Invited her down to one of their fucking mansion rooms, sat her down and played a hologram of a deep fake AI version of her dad, her dead dad. Do you remember that? That's the first time I saw this. I thought that was grotesquely kind of funny. Cyrus Post says, hi, Will Smith here, listening and learning. Give me a phone, Will. Give me a phone. Imagine Will Smith dropped, like, a rap about Scientology. Imagine he did a South Park. Imagine he said something meaningful about anything at all. Although, to be fair to Will Smith, he's never really said anything meaningful about anything. He hasn't offered us any insight. He's been packaged to like Fresh Prince or Men in Black or something like that. He is the definition of pop culture, so I shouldn't expect a lot from him. This is why Will Smith's bad. There's an incongruence of who we know him as. either as the Fresh Prince cool guy, mainstream guy, or the guy that's having marriage difficulties that smacked Will Smith. Smacked. What's the guy's name? The comedian guy, stand-up guy. My brain's fucked. But then, so now he's trying to do like serious hip hop, but he's not saying anything other than I'm the illest. Look at me, I'm fucking great and all of that. Like, no, you aren't. You aren't though. Like, we saw you embarrass yourself a couple of times. So maybe talk about how you're working through that or something. You can't do all that shit and then come out and say that you're the best guy, because you aren't the best guy. That other guy came off better than you and he didn't even need to do a song. Anyway, Roderick says this is what society gets for making Will Smith famous to begin. No, I think his work on Fresh Prince was very good. I think that as an actor, he did that brilliant. He can communicate lots of expressions just by the way he's standing and things. I will attest for what Fresh Prince is, or was, it's not high art, right? It's definitely not high art. I'm sorry, I'm just aware that you never saw... I was in a different mode, so you never saw this. So I was looking at this. Check this out. Arno Boko, thank you very much for subbing. Welcome in. If you're just joining us, we are looking at some bogus bullshit that Rod Stewart played recently. Psychosomatic, thank you very much for a tenner on Ko-fi. Thank you very, very much. And cause you did that on Ko-fi, I get every penny of it. So I really appreciate that. I will be putting that towards the Freddy Fund, because he's needing more lamb chops. Thank you very much for that, Psychosomatic. If you're just joining us, Rod Stewart did this.
Yes, projected on the screen during Rod's Charlotte show, that's Ozzy seemingly snapping selfies with fellow late singers Michael Jackson, Freddie Mercury, and Amy Winehouse. The AI-generated tribute upset some fans, one writing, quote, "We are truly in the end times." Another, "This is a new low." The 80-year-old did honor his one-time collaborator in a more traditional way. Since Ozzy's death less than 2 weeks ago, he's been dedicating Forever Young to him while on stage.
I always have to give the people what they want.
Meanwhile, Oasis is paying tribute to a fan who died during their UK concert.
Today is gonna be the day.
I'm going to get DMCA'd. Cool, so this story's about Oasis. What happened to you?
You got it. You got it. Ready? Let's practice.
Oh, that's a shame. Anyway, so some other news happened as well. But the vibe is that the resurrected...
AI-generated tribute upset some fans, one writing...
And I mean, I'm not surprised. It's kind of cool that folk are pushing back against it. It wouldn't be a good world if we all saw that and went, all right, yep. In terms of like commemorating the dead, right, I don't think it's a good idea to puppeteer their likeness using computery tools. And this is coming from a person who I could have made a good couple of grand selling that video to Rod Stewart. Will Smith, see if you are watching, right, and you disagree with all the things, but you want an AI video of you hanging out with Che Guevara or something, I can literally make that. And that's very lucrative. I don't want to. I think it's bad for the full world, but I need to pay my rent. So if you want to get in touch, I'll do all of that shit. I'll do anything you want, man. I can do it all. Should it be done? No, it should not. But what a mess. What a mess. I tried to get in trouble on Twitter ages ago by resurrecting one of the actors from The Matrix, just to annoy people, so this was years ago, but just to put my toe in the water, from 10:30 Matrix. So the technology wasn't that good. So the Oracle in The Matrix, right? One of the actor died and she had to be recast. So this is in 2020 and I actually made it the year before. So I think this is 2019. But the reason I did this was to stick it online and just see how many folk it pissed off. So the one on the left is a very poor deep fake of the original actor on the right, but the actor's face that I put on the one on the left died in the previous film. So I did this as a sort of test, work in progress sort of thing, to see if it was possible to, using like home software, replace the face. And it kind of worked. Our face shape is different. But I did this just to see, but I didn't really get much engagement. The problem of an actor's death, can't fix that with graphics tweak. Right, so Sinead fell for it. The actress who played Oracle in the first Matrix film died and was recast, attached as a first draft of how the problem could be addressed using deepfake technology today. Here's a quick, unrefined sketchbook idea. I just wanted to see if it would take. The problem of an actor's death? Well, yep. If you shoot something and then the actor died and you need to make more of the thing, that is a problem. That's a production problem. The problem of an actor's death? Yep. Can't fix that with a graphics tweak. What do you mean tweak? It's not a tweak. That was like a workflow. A tweak would be if you've made something and you just need to adjust it slightly. Actors already have shocking levels of protection over their use for their own images. Quite often in the Matrix and stuff, you sign up to like a perpetuity deal. So if you do the first film, they will give you an extra 50 grand or something if they can then use your likeness in future films. It's all down to a per case basis. For all we know, this person did have that in the contract. That's why we see, Carrie Fisher in Star Wars and stuff. Contractual permission to slap your moving face over whatever a studio wants after you've carked it out is literal horror. So I was able to tap into this repulsion about 4 years ago, just using very primitive software, and now you can just generate whatever you want, man. Have you seen the new Gemini? Is it called Gemini? I had all these names. Gemini VO3, I think it's called. Which is it called that? What's the new video one and you can pan left and right and stuff like that? Let's see if it's in Google. Video Google. Let's type that in. Media. Genie. It's called Genie. Right? So this is a new type of AI model, everybody. Be aware of this. Or will we just watch it? Let's just watch it. But basically, you can generate worlds, and in real time, like playing a video game, you can now move the camera about like this. And for the first time, a problem this technology had before is if you're looking at something, then you look away and you look back, it's usually different, like in a dream. Very similar parallels with dreams, right? But now they seem to have cracked it. Look at this, it's worrying.
What you're seeing are not games or videos. They're worlds. Each one of these is an interactive environment generated by Genie 3, a new frontier for world models. With Genie 3, you can use natural language to generate a variety of worlds and explore them interactively, all with a single text prompt. Let's see what it's like to spend some time in a world. Genie 3 has real-time interactivity, meaning that the environment reacts to your movements and actions. You're not walking through a pre-built simulation. Everything you see here is being generated live as you explore it. And Genie 3 has world memory. That's why environments like this one stay consistent. World memory even carries over into your actions. For example, when I'm painting on this wall, my actions persist. I can look away and generate.
So he's controlling that like Red Dead Redemption, for example. That's real time. It's not pre-rendered video.
Other parts of the world. But when I look back, the actions I took are still there. And Genie 3 enables promptable events, so you can add new events into your world on the fly. Something like another person, or transportation, or even something totally unexpected. You can use Genie to explore real-world physics and movement, and all kinds of unique environments. You can generate worlds with distinct geographies, historical settings, fictional environments, and even other characters. We're excited to see how Genie 3 can be used for next-generation gaming and entertainment. And that's just the beginning. Worlds can help with embodied research, training robotic agents before working in the real world.
Do you know what? I'm up for it, man. I'm up for it. I've had a hell of a year. I want to get a VR headset, right? Just fucking sign myself over to this. I don't give a shit anymore. I want to get some opium and a VR headset and just burn out inside this. Might as well, man. Everything's fucked, isn't it? What could you do with this tool? You could create a VR world, right, that shows in real time the destruction of the rainforest, right? Or like maybe you could develop some sort of visual representation of the energy that you're currently burning in order to achieve the world that you're in, but then somehow using VR explain that. You know what I mean? So if I'm in one of them, is it the equivalent of a small forest fire somewhere? That could be quite interesting. Could be some sort of creative endeavour. Obviously, it makes sense to consider this in the context of video games. Like, this looks like real brilliant graphics. Looks like tremendous, excellent graphics. And if all the image synthesis stuff excels at the speed that it's currently going at, then in 10 years' time we'll be able to just do this on our phones, maybe. So even as just a graphical layer over the top of some more primitive polygons or something like that, could be cool. Did they do this with Minecraft a while back? They did, John Gemstone, but it wasn't as successful as this. So with Minecraft, if you looked away and then looked back, it would just all be different. Whereas with this, you have got spatial and temporal consistency. So if he paints this here, then walks away and paints some here, and then goes back, all of that stays, even if, you know, he's moved it out of shot. And we couldn't do that before. Also, previously, it was real time, but it wasn't like... This seems more robust. You know what I mean? This seems like you could actually use it for something. Whereas previously it was more of a tech demo. So I would like to get a shot of this. I would like to play with it. Currently you can't play with it because it's in their protected developer beta or whatever. It isn't in it just hasn't been released. I think they've done a paper on it or something. But it's mad, isn't it? One of the episodes of the new Black Mirror series is about this concept. There you go, man. There you go. My goodness. I had the same shit happen to me in Amsterdam once. I've had some scary ventures in Amsterdam. My God. So according to Rolling Sausage in chat, the Kanye West Dead Dad hologram that he gave to Kim Kardashian apparently also made references to her farting. Brilliant. She left him weeks after. She left him a few weeks after. So, what have we learned from that? Do not surprise your partner with an AI deepfake hologram of their dead dad talking about farting. That's what we've learned for that. What was it I was saying before about people with bad taste having a lot of resources to be creative? But anyway, sorry, I'm sure that somehow became a full circle there. My God. Aussie scuba diving with David Bowie and Kurt Cobain riding alongside them on a giant squid. Aye. How's about Hulk Hogan going camping with Ozzy Osbourne and they're just having a brilliant time. And we project it behind Coldplay in Wembley Stadium and we make all the money, man. Let's make all cash for these dead people, man. It's a mess. Beneath Headphones says, I'm still impressed with Google Maps. This is too much for me. I'm bloody impressed with Google Maps as well. It's good. Yep, Buster says, is there potential to hack into someone's world and fuck with them? I'm sure there will be. Any new technology just introduces ways to fuck with people, doesn't it? I could be slightly higher. Oh, I wish I was slightly higher. But I could be slightly higher up. Maybe we'll do this. Because I'm not quite happy with the setup. Fred the dog, are you doing good, pal? He's not even in the room anymore. He's away. However, we're fine. I thought the receipt for the vet was on the floor there, but it must be the receipt for something else, because we can't have him stealing that, because that would be a disaster. I had other stuff to talk to you about, other things. Got a polarising filter. Sorted out my lightbox thing. Mesh nodes, mesh Wi-Fi nodes. If I told you about these. So I put up some mesh nodes, right? And this is more just like a proof of concept rather than an actual useful tool. But it could be used in a life or death scenario or whatever, right? Here's the problem, pop quiz hot shot, as they say, right? Is Wee Shed coming over? We've got wee cakes. Do you want a wee tea and a wee cake? I'll have a tea, but no cake. I'm post-cake. I don't fuck with cakes anymore, Rachel, but thank you very much. But no cakes for me, but I'll have a wee tea. Thank you very much. Dolan says, we hope it was a fart in reference. The words was peefy. How do I get this knowledge out of my brain? You can't. Don't fight it. Just, Dolan, right? Imagine you're a monk and you're just watching all this bullshit just go down a river. Just like logs going down the river. And one of the logs informs you that Kim Kardashian calls farts peefies or whatever. And what you can't do is reject it. You must observe the log. See the thought. Acknowledge it. And then just let it pass like that. And then before you know it, other logs will come. Hold on. In and back out. Kim Kardashian's farting. In and back out. Dawn says it's stuck. You're fucked then, mate. You're fucked. You're fucked. Professional help. You need professional help. I'd speak to... I don't know. You're fucked. Hello, Thomas Greggs. How you doing? And hello, TD. Welcome in. How's it even going, everybody? How we doing? Breathe in the calm, breathe out the payfy. Exactly. It's been quite a stream today. Freddie, where is even Freddie? Do you want to come up? Look, what's this? Freddie, Thomas Greggs is in. Do you want to say hello? Do you want to say hello? Come on. Up. 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 Right up. You sit nice. Freddie, you're a lovely dog, aren't you? You're a lovely dog, Freddie. He's like, what do I need to do to get that treat? Where did it even go? Do you want a treat? Look. Here it is. You lovely dog. Right. Can you speak? Speak. Speak. Yeah, man. We indoor speaks, isn't it? We nice indoor speaks. Yeah, very good boy. Aren't you? I was telling everybody about you're not well. You've got a big special appointment tomorrow, don't you? Big special appointment. Oh, we got a bubble blast, Fred. Genius Unapplied, how you doing? Thank you very much for subbing. Welcome in. How's it going? So if you're just in, this is the vibe. In order, the camera's a bit ski-whiff and stuff, but it's just so that you can see your Freddy. Because we were going to come on like Phil and Fern. Can you even say Phil and Fern anymore? I don't think you can. Like fucking... Nah, they're cancelled as well. Like Richard and Judy. Freddie, who one are you? Are you Richard or are you Judy? Ah, Freddie. Ah, Freddie. Anyway. How's Judy Finnegan doing, man? Anyway. But yeah, good boy. And you're welcome to hang out here. You want to hang out here? You be a good dog and just chill out on my stream? Will I stop talking about you? Let's stop talking about. Oh, he's getting self-conscious because I'm observing him. Honestly, this is why I love GeoGuessr so much. You could just lose yourself in it. It's class. It's brilliant, man. Hello, TD. How you doing? If you're just in, we've been talking about Kim Kardashian's AI Da. We've been talking about how Ozzy Osbourne was resurrected using AI, and it was a big mess. There's a logjam. There certainly appears to be a logjam. In fact, never mind. I was going to go into a hypothetical. Listen, I've been messing about with these. Look, boom, shakalaka. This is, have you seen this, Freddie? Fred, there's nothing really good here. This is an aerial and a tiny board called a Helltech V3, right? So I've put one of them in my loft, and I've also put one in my parents' loft when they were away. So my parents were away for about 4 or 5 days there. I've got a key for the house. I just went into their house, and that one's mine. But I made this one for them. Same thing, different wee stick thing. So I took it to their house, stuck it inside their loft, extended for power. I needed a USB, and my God, it was difficult getting. There was already a hole in the ceiling. Trying to get it out because there's fiberglass everywhere. It was horrible. I had to get 2 big long stick things, tape them together, then put like a hook on the end, put up as much cable as I could, and just like fingertips distance, try and like hook the hook thing. Took me about 2 hours. Took me about 3 hours. 2 hours maybe. But we got my parents' one connected. And even though we live quite a distance away, I'm now able to see that node from my node upstairs. So what does this mean? What can this do? Is it useful? It's not really useful, right? It isn't really useful, but it's like a test. It's somebody's project that could be used in an emergency scenario or in like a private scenario. Say, for example, if you needed to communicate with somebody, right, via text, but the internet's down and all the phone lines are down, but somehow electricity is still up. If you're in that very particular situation, and if the recipient also happens to have this custom type of technology, and if you happen to be within the radius of a mesh network that has been created by other enthusiasts creating these and putting them in their parents' lofts, if all of those things are qualified, then you might have a chance at sending a message between 2 of them. So it's off-grid, encrypted, decentralised, private and public mesh network that uses public band radio waves, radio range, and I set it up. So previously, right, I had it set up with just the bottom bit and not this antenna. And I couldn't connect to anybody, it was shite. I even took it up really high, couldn't connect to anybody, it was shite. And then I bought the antenna for it. You saw me buy that antenna, it was like 2 for a tenner. And since I put that antenna on it, I think 120 nodes popped up. It's a lot of nodes. And on one of the bright sunny days, I was even able to see nodes all the way in Northern Ireland. How class is that? Pepper, stop being a wee virgin. Stop that.
Your tea's here.
Oh, thank you, Pepper. How you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
I am doing good. Ouch!
My meeting got cancelled, but me and another person that was online, she's down in Devon, and we had a really fun chat.
Good. About Freddie?
No, about getting older and like being a woman.
Ah! Pepper, grow up! Earlier I called Pepper a wee virgin. She's definitely not, man.
She's definitely not.
You coming over? You want to come and see me? Do you want to sit down, Rachel, and you can be the co-host?
I'll go get my tea.
Cool.
I look all stinky, don't look at me.
You don't look all stinky. You look nice. Freddie, no, back up. Can't be there, Freddie. Rachel, can you shout at him? Peanut butter. Aye, we can't have him in there.
What are you doing?
He was in wee secret bits.
You secret bits? No, we secret bits.
We challenging secret bits. Weren't you, Freddie?
Did you go up?
Doug's our class. The Bible says Doug's our class. Doug's our class. Right, you coming up, Freddie?
You can't.
Freddie, you can't eat cake,
You can't
but
eat cake.
oh, I don't have
I'll go get
I
the
don't
spoon.
have two. You can't give one Doug a thing and not the other Doug, because then that's how bad Doug vibes happen, right? We get, well, I can't feed you because you'll take my fucking fingers off, so I'll put that here. Freddie, come! Freddie, come! He's not coming, we'll just give it to you. Fuck him, man, you're here. There you go. That's us, isn't it? That's us. Dogs have a very strong sense of equality and fairness. I'm afraid that's not the case with this one, is it? That's not the case. You'll just eat anything that's going, even if it's not yours.
Right, up.
We're right. Up, up, up.
I'll go.
Not you, stupid. Look,
You can't eat cake, Fred.
we're coming up. I don't think he wants to come up here because Pepper's up. But Pepper could go down. Pepper? You go down. No, no, yous are daft dogs.
Off.
Off.
Off you get.
Good dog. Clever boy.
Up.
Up. Good boy. Hi, mate. It's all kicking off, isn't it? You're not getting any cake, but can't get any cakes. See them? They're going there. And if you're a nice boy, you maybe get more. Maybe get more. Aha. Freddie, can you find my nose? Yay, found my nose. Right, you get a treat. Fair is fair. One treat. Freddie, can I get a classic paw? Oh, a classic paw. I love a classic paw, Freddie. That's brilliant, man. Fair's fair. Ice. Ice. Yeah, good boy, man. Good boy, ain't you? Booby snout. No bother. Find my nose. Good boy. Look at me. Speak. Good boy. Get more of that shit. Yeah, man. What else can we do? We can't really do that or that because you're on a couch, aren't you? Oh, he's got his pinger out. He's got his pinger out.
Can you see it in camera?
No, you can't see it in camera, but it's pink lipstick on the go. Well, do you want to just have a wee lie down? Freddie, that is disgusting. Freddie's got his pinger out, everybody.
You can't be saying that after all your streams about making wanking great again. That's.
Aye, I mean, I'm happy for him and all of that, but no when I'm like feeding him. No when I'm feeding. Imagine I get my pinger out when you were feeding me. It wouldn't be good. I'd get arrested, Freddie.
That'd be weird.
I'd get arrested, Freddie, and quite rightly. Put me in the jail. They'd chop my balls off and stick them in the bin. Just exactly,
Like how we done
aye, like we did with you. Your balls are in the bin, aren't they? Snipped them off in the bin. Ta-ta. Incinerated them, didn't we?
That's where they were.
Yep, that's where they used to be. He's licking his pinger.
This is gone south.
Don't mind me carry on. Says, have you heard about Dean Cain? Dean Cain as in Superman? Going full old bonkers actor that nobody's talking about anymore, basically pulling a Steven Seagal. I still talk about Steven Seagal because he's ridiculous. Dean Cain? Is he like pure MAGA? Everybody remembers Dean Cain. Dean Cain. This for me is the one true Superman. What? What is all of this? What?
Just cross it off.
Oh, I'm overwhelmed, man. Ah, I'm autistic. I want to learn about Dean Cain. You're hitting me with really large text. Urgent threats. Pressure. Undeterred. Seizing. I'm just going to back out and not even read the article. That's what that does. I'm just not going to read the article. Fuck it. Try and manipulate me. Actor Dean Cain, who played Superman in the 90s, reveals he's joined ICE to save America. Let's go with the BBC. They don't hit you with pish. What? Ex-Superman actor Dean Cain has announced he is planning to join the US Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency known as ICE. In an interview on Wednesday, Cain, who is already a sworn law enforcement officer, said, "I will be sworn in as an ICE agent ASAP." Didn't the TV show version of Superman have like an episode where there's an immigrant family comes to America and they're treated with prejudice, and Superman has to like, oh well, America's a melting pot. I don't like that term, but back then it was. And actually, America's based on all sorts of influences, which is why a lot of you claim to be a quarter Scotch. So, kind of cop on that without immigration, you know what I mean? Anyway, what a loser. What a loser. Look at him though, man. See, if you had to outrun that guy, I'm pretty sure you would be able to. Nothing against not being able to run and stuff, but don't put yourself forward as like... Oh, what? On 29th of July, ICE announced it was offering recruitment bonuses of up to 50 grand and a student loan help to Americans interested in helping with Trump administration's deportation drive. That's cool. Do you know what I might be tempted to do? I might be tempted to get all my mates, right, who are cool and sound, and we all join ICE and we all take the money and then just like don't do all the evil shit. You know what I mean? I wonder how long you could survive without personally getting injured from one of your colleagues if you were to do that. Anyway, what a horrible state of affairs. $76 billion. It's the highest funded federal law enforcement agency. That's just... I want to go into the VR world, man. Just opium. Just no be concerned about all of this. What a mess. What a mess. What a cunt, says B. Dillon. 100%, mate. 100%. He is my true Superman. Dean Cain. Dean Shame. But I like to see these people older because that's pathetic, man. He's still clinging on to the Superman gimmick. Look, you see what's on his shirt? Like a Superman logo. Do you see that? Oh, Dean Cain, leave it, mate. You see that on his shirt? He still thinks he's Superman. And then he's got the American flag, but in an army, like a special forces. So the reason it's flipped on the right-hand side, do you know about this? On uniforms and stuff. So typically with an American flag, the stars are on the left, right? And that's how it should be depicted. One, if he was a true patriot, he should know about flag code. In America, they don't like to put flags on clothing because it disrespects the flag. So he should know about that, right? So that's very unpatriotic for a start. And then he's got the stars and stripes here, and he's put it in the frame of a Superman logo. Mate, you're deluded as fuck, pal. You're deluded as fuck. Anyway, so the reason... so obviously sometimes you have to put the American flag on clothing when that clothing is uniforms for officers who extract oil for the Middle East or, beat up civilians. So in that scenario, the flag on the right sleeve will be mirrored so that the stars are at the front. And that's because if you were to imagine that flag with a flagpole, the flagpole would be oriented at the same edge as the stars. And so if you are physically carrying a flagpole and you're marching forward, people on your left would see the stars at the front, people on the right would see your stars at the front. And that is why they have flipped the thing on the right sleeve. And let me tell you something, as a graphic designer, that is some bogus bullshit, man. Don't flip your flag. Never flip your flag. Don't be doing that. Why are you doing that? See, if you're carrying a flag, which you aren't, but if you're carrying a flag, then it'll look like that. But you're not. You've printed it on your sleeve. And so if you're printing it, you don't have to conform to the limitations of 3D spatial Cartesian geography. You can just print it normally if you're using printing techniques. Dean Cain, you can't. And then flag code here prevents, it's unpatriotic and I think maybe illegal. Do you know who'll know about this shit? The woman. Hiya, how you doing? You alright? Hello? Hi there. Nothing works anymore. Everything's shite. Everything's fucking shite. Everything's terrible. Let's see if I can ask the woman about Dean Cain's flipped flag. I'm just closing down things. Because I need to know about flag code. Hello, how you doing? You alright? Hello, how you doing? You alright? She can't hear me. I think there's a problem with my phone. Earlier, I got a phone call and the person on the other end couldn't hear me. And it's been like that for a bit, but then there was an update that fixed it. I've got an iPhone 12 Pro, and I'm not updating mine because I don't have $1,000 to spend on a phone. Also, I think there's new ones out September. Might keep a wee eye on that. But iPhones nowadays, you don't really need to update them because they're all just the same as the new ones. Anyway, I'll give her a wee courtesy restart. I'll ask her again. He played an illegal alien in the show and was accepted. That is incredible. That's right. The story was about him being an illegal alien and about him being accepted and therefore being part of America. Isn't it? What a despicable bastard, man. Wasn't that the vibe of the show? More of a genocide fondue? Jings. Let's see what the woman's saying. Please don't read my code. My phone's not going to take forever to connect to the internet and all that. I could do with a quarter of scotch right now. Me and you both Junko Pop. Do you know, I've got a beer in there. I might have a beer. I've been drinking beer since Fred's diagnosis. Got right back into boozing, man. And it's been good. It's doing good. Don't worry, not like problematic. It's weird, isn't it? Cyrus Post says, this is America, there's no way that money is real, it's got to be a scam. Aye, apparently Trump has been offering, all this cash to do a thing, and then people sign up for the thing, and then he's like, nope. And he fakes out of it. Just like the tariffs and all that sort of stuff as well. Anyway, my spine surgery cost 200 grand. Fucking hell, B. Dolan. That's bogus, innit? I mean, some of the attachments you've got for that thing are kind of cool. You're like later Darth Maul with his mad spider legs. But 200 grand. It's just, like, obviously it's wonderful that you were able to get it and get it sorted, but think of like the hundreds of thousands of people that just don't have the option. Which reminds me, everybody, I'm not involved in this, right? But there's a mutual aid fund that's been set up, and we're going to speak about this properly. I've had a lot on, so I've not been able to do it. But basically, there are some folk in the wider community, right, who need surgery for things. So Dolan and Mary Biscuits, if you're in, and lots of other people have created a mutual aid fund called Cup Burger. Don't worry about the name Cup Burger. It's like, they know what they're doing, right? But it's a real thing. And right now, I think it's sitting at what, like $4,000, $3 or $4,000. And for the 2 people need surgery, 1 person needs a new wheelchair. And these are legitimate folk who would have their lives literally changed if they just had a couple of quid to make this stuff happen. So check out Cup Burger, right? I'm going to speak about it properly. But Cup Burger, look at that. You've got some incredible Google chops. All you need to do is Google Cup Burger and it comes up. So here's the deal. See if you're in a scenario with extra money, right? You can just put it here and it will go to people that need it. And it's fucking cool, man. I know the majority of the people that have set this up. I'm very proud of them and I'm proud of this. If you've got spare money, send it this way. It's not a charity. There isn't a CEO. It's not going to disappear or anything like that. It will go directly to people that need it. In addition, if you're somebody that's in the wider community and you're in a position of need, you can click apply. I would put a separate button up top. I know that this has been a lot of work for a lot of people, right? But I wouldn't put the donate button under apply. See, if I went on here and I wanted to figure out how to donate, I wouldn't look under apply. I would have donate as a separate button up here, lads. I know there's probably a reason, because you want the application process to be frictionless or whatever. But see, as soon as I go into cupburger.org, I'm very sorry that I'm critting your website, right? You've done amazing stuff here. This is all brilliant. But as soon as I go on here, that it should be frictionless, as few clicks as possible to get to the payment screen to donate. So look, there, it's there, but it's below the fold. So I need to scroll down. See this donate button? Put it fucking massive and up here. And then up here, we've got apply in caps and donate in small. If I were you, I'd be pushing the donate stuff. I understand I'm not you, and the stuff that you want to push is different from what I would do if I was running it. I'm not running it. But see this donate thing here? You should all be in about this, right? So it's run by, or well, not run by, it's run by a small team of folk, and then it's facilitated by Open Collective that do all like the financial bits and stuff. I think there's like 1% of the fee goes to credit card stuff or something like that. It's all very transparent. It's as transparent as it can be. I would recommend, right? See if you're currently signing up to like fucking, who's a shitty streamer that doesn't deserve your money? Well, we're all thinking about somebody, but I can't name them, right? So if you're currently signing up to somebody, their streams have been a bit shite, they're not putting the effort in anymore, take that $5 a month, stick it this way, and it means that people can get surgery who needs it. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, don't stop streaming to me. Obviously, I need to, pay rent and stuff like that. But like just unsub, right? Fuck them. And take the money, stick it in here, job done. Or have we look, see your Apple Music? Are you still paying for Apple? Remember you watched Severance on Apple TV? Are you still, oh fuck, you've not cancelled Apple TV? Do that now, cancel your Apple TV, and with that same amount of money, put it towards actual good stuff. Apple have got enough money. Right? Other streamers, when they're talking about this, make a big deal about the request button. So if you're in a position of need, and it can be stuff that's big or small, it could be I need surgery, or I need a new walking stick, or even just, listen, I'm in poverty and I would like to get a nice meal for me and my partner. Something like that. If describes you, and if you're in part of the community, you can go on here, you can request money. But a lot of us have got a spare couple of quid every month, and if you do have that, fucking chuck it in. See, even if everybody only gives £1 a month, but if we all do it, fucking hell. Anyway, nobody's getting paid for that. All the money's going to various good causes. I know where some of the money's going, and that's private information for the people who have applied for it. I know the big things, the smaller things, no clue. And some of the people working on this is like down to a trusted group of folk who will review all the grants and stuff. But of the big things that I know about, I really encourage you to dig deep if you can. And if you can't, that's fucking cool as well, man. Anyway, at some point, B. Dolan and I are going to come on stream and we're going to chat about this stuff, because what the even hell is a mutual aid fund anyway? And like, Dolan was saying it's one of the most punk progressive things that you can do. If we're all sick and tired and scared of the Tories or new legislation that's coming in, or the fact that NHS is fucked, or whatever else, this here is a way of just fixing things that are immediate to us. Not fixing the big infrastructural problems that we don't have any control over, but just, this person's fucked, we need £2,000. Can we do that? Yep, here you go. You're not fucked anymore. That multiplied by a few people who are fucking cool. And then other parts of it, other people have applied who need money for various things. So that could be you. Apply if you need money for various things. But if you have spare money, even just a couple of quid, fucking send it that way, and I guarantee it will. Well, I don't guarantee. I've got no oversight in this. I don't know. Full thing might go tits up. Probably won't. I know a lot of the people involved. Probably won't. It's probably a really worthwhile thing. Which is why I'm talking about it. Cup Burger, everybody. Don't worry about the name. Anyway, I've not looked at chat since we started speaking about Dean Cain. So I want to speak to the woman about Dean Cain. Terry Hatcher. I fancied her, man. Terry Hatcher. I fancied her when I was a wee boy. Terry Hatcher, eh? Anyway, I hope she's cool. I hope she's not joining the Israeli Defence Force. Anyway. I have a deep weed theory that all these new US flags coming out are psyops. You see firemen with red and black fire department flags, police supporters with blue stripes are everywhere on clothes within the past few years. Beadon, the UK government did something very similar in Scotland after we lost the independence referendum. So now, like, if you go into shops and just buy bread, for example, I think I tweeted it. I forget the... Nah, I can't find it. I'm sure I said staunch bread. But you're getting Union Jacks everywhere. Or you did for a coordinated campaign before... Was it in Boris Johnson's first run? Or was maybe Rishi Sunak? So they were talking about putting Union flags on bridges, and all, like, our strawberries. Is it strawberries, maybe? But that is pure fash patter, isn't it? And we're seeing that in America as well, with, like, the Undertaker with the blue stripe pish and all of that. Fascists love flags because it gives people a sense of identity and belonging, and will encourage groupthink and all of that sort of stuff. But we were victim to that, and still are. So it's now a legal requirement to put a union flag on any produce that was made in the UK. Even if it was made in Scotland, you don't put a Scottish flag on it, you put a union flag on it. I'm sure I tweeted it and I put the word staunch. Oh, Dolan, remind me to tell you why flutes are problematic in Glasgow as well. B. Dolan's on his stream, he's like, what's wrong with flutes? And I'm like, I'll tell you, there's something else as well. Some other Glasgow. Alright, here we go. Staunch ladders. Staunch ladders. And we've got staunch tripe as well. What's this here? I don't know what that is. Anyway. That guy is telekinetic. Look at him, he's levitating that football with his mind. What? What? Anyway, in a wee second I'm going to talk to you about mesh networks, but I've been ignoring the chat and I've been off on rants. Anyway, try the voice recorder and see if your microphone is fucked. Mine got full of rubbish and a careful tweezer. Oh, nice one, cheapest chimps. I think my phone is just on the blink. Sometimes people will phone me, I can hear them, but they can't hear me. It used to happen quite a bit, and then it happened today for the first time in months. Although, maybe it's just the first time somebody's phoned me in months. Devon Inc. says, I've been deep into the world of dark spiced rums again. Be nice. Interesting. Interesting. Talking about Apple, did you see Tim Cook kissing his ass with a gift in the Oval Office? What was it he did? Was it tariffs or something that made all the tech bros just like fawn to him? Something weird's happening in tech, and organisations that were typically left-wing, weren't anymore. Anyway, like Zuckerberg's just like, it's fine to be racist now, things like that. What a con. Anyway, but I didn't see the Tim Cook stuff, gonna know. Dynamite Dolan. Dolan got his surgery because his wife's got a job with healthcare. That's amazing. Trump's been not paying his contractors since the 80s. I'm not signing up for sweet dick. Aye, that's fair. So everybody go to cutburger.org. See that thing I was just talking to you about? I'm now in the chat, the part in the chat. Anyone can ask for help with rent, medical bills, mental health, etc. Not speaking about any of the folks needing the things just yet, but as a general fund, we're raising loot. Okay, sorry if I spoke out of turn. I thought that was public knowledge. You can also request aid if you need it anonymously if you want. Listen, everybody, Cutburger. Get into Cutburger. Seriously, send them money and it will change lives. I can't help myself. I can't help myself if I see a design decision like that. Can't help myself. It's just part of who I am as a person. I'm sorry. This is why graphic designers are bastards. I'm sorry. But I'm just trying to make the world a better place. Very sorry, I'm just trying to make the world a better place. Imagine how we feel when I go out for dinner and he does the menu. Roland Sausage, you're also a graphic designer and you do the same shit, man, but just a bit less angrily. Hello, Scroobius Pip, how you doing? TD says, use me as an example. It's fine. No. You're one of the best streamers on the platform, TD. I've not seen enough of your streams, to be honest. Now you've got a VPN, you can download it anyway. Exactly. Listen, everybody, see if you pay for media just now. Fuck that. Pirate things, right? Use Adblock and stuff. Apple and Disney don't need your money. Have you seen them, right? Stop paying that. Get into piracy because fuck them and also get them to fuck, right? And see the money you're saving just by pirating stuff, give it to this mutual aid fund called Cutburger where they are doing good things. Was it illegal that I said that? Probably. Don't stop subbing to me though. That's quite important. Right, cool. If someone in the Twitch community can vouch for knowing you, you can apply. That's the only requirement. That's good. I didn't know what the limits were because obviously you guys are trying to promote this, but then if it promotes too much and it gets to like people on the outside, hi, can you Venmo me $20 for something? I wasn't sure. So it's like it's as if it's a Rust server. So if somebody can vouch for you, you know what I mean? That's a good way of doing it, I suppose. But again, a Cut Burger, everybody. And Dolan is going to be on my stream at some point in the next wee bit. And because I want to know all about what all of this is about. See, the starters, you need to put them at the beginning. Otherwise, I'm looking at the mains and the puddings, and then I see the starters after, and I have to reevaluate my choices. Oh, I hate it. Exactly, Cheeky Nander. Well done on the oh, I hate it as well. It's 100% me. I'm right. I'm usually right. I'm usually right is the thing, so you can't get angry for me just telling the truth. You can't. We're also discussing stuff like Skillshare and work-alongs. Non-monetary mutual aid ideas are interesting too. That sounds class, man. Listen to Beadle and talk about it made me all inspired. It's a class thing. Aye. It's got ideas and an energy to it that I think is quite special. So get in at the ground floor, everybody. Sarah's post says, I've been off the vape 2 months. That is fucking cool, man. I just picked my vape up yesterday for the first time in about ages. Can I vape on stream? Can't vape on TikTok, but I can vape on Twitch. I don't vape. I don't encourage vaping, but I've got this here because we bought it for a prop in a film and it was going to go out of date, so I've just started using it. I don't like doing that. However, it makes me look like a streamer because I've got the purple lights. Here, everybody, look at me. I'm Roscoe. Yeah, 2 wee minutes. I need to do a thing. Hold on. That's what Roscoe does, isn't it? Anyway. Sorry, you've just said you're off the vape and I've been pure vaping in front of you. I forgot how I got onto that. I'm very sorry. That was very inappropriate, wasn't it? Sitting there choking for a vape and I'm like, very sorry. I forgot how we even got onto that in the first place. I just got distracted because it was right in front of me. I'm having a bad time, right? Past couple of days, gives just a wee bit of a break, right? Having a wee bit of a bad time, okay, everybody? I'm not quite okay. Rolling Sausage says, my theory is that all the shows like Great British Bake Off with Great British helped get Brexit across the line because it inflated the ego and it was like a soft Make America Great Again for the UK. Aye. When the recession hit, media started pushing nostalgic stuff. Like, remember Dickensian? There was like a Dickens show. Even stuff like competitive ballroom dancing. I love Strictly. It's part of, though, like, not a psyop. I wouldn't give it as much credit as that. But a way of getting people feeling nostalgic during times of economic downturn, because apparently we need that. And it all seems a bit engineered, because when you spot it, you'll see it everywhere. Macaroni Prince says, they're not great back home for me either. I can imagine, mate. What England needs to realise is that for some of us, I think I'm speaking for Mac as well, when we see a Union Jack, we don't associate it with pride or unity or anything like that. We associate it with nutters that like to light fireworks and aim them towards buses. We associate a Union flag with wee cunts that like to kick fuck out of benches in George Square because their football team won. I still don't understand that. When we see the Union flag, we associate it with people doing literal Nazi salutes on the day after our independence campaign ended. So don't put it on our bread and on our tripe, please. Anyway, they've sort of calmed it down a wee bit. For anybody who are giving up vices, see if you can make it to 20 days. Usually 20 days is a good time for your habitual addictions to be gone. If you can get it to 20 days, man, Hammy says, I have making a Meshtastic device on my to-do list. Want to try and retrofit it into one of the 90s pagers. Hammy, that sounds class. What I would recommend though is you'll probably need 2 base stations in order to get a functional thing out of that. So what you will need is like one of these up high somewhere near where you are, but then within range of that, have like a small handheld one in the pager. So you won't be able to get an effective antenna in the pager. The antenna that you can fit in a pager would just be for short range, and what you really want is to then have this as like a relay. Relay? Yes, relay. So that you can then communicate with like a wider mesh network. So I've set these up as nodes. I don't have a wee handheld one. I would quite like one for the car as well, because it is quite fun. Every morning, all the guys, and I'm sure it is guys, on the mesh network are all, good morning, morning, morning. And every now and again, there isn't like chatter on it, but it's interesting to just look in. They're all chatting about like, oh, I've just set up a node in Burgady. Can anybody hear it? And then people are like, yep, hearing this loud and clear from Shawlands, or hearing this for Partick. And it's quite cool, man. Meshtastic. Get into it. This one, apparently you can get better ones. This is a Heltec V3 that takes a lot of power, but you can get lower powered ones using a chip called the NRF50. Pedropolis might be in chat, and Pedropolis knows a lot more about I do. But there's a Discord and all of that sort of stuff. Get into it if you're into it. The barrier for entry for me was about £50. And for £50, I was able to create 2 base stations. One's in my parents' and one's here. But I want to get a smaller one that I can just carry about or like take in the car or whatever. It's just a hobbyist thing. I don't imagine I will use this for any actual utility. But it might be useful in certain contexts. Say, for example, there was a group of you going a walk in an area that didn't have mobile phone signal or something like that. You could create your own wee mesh network if everybody had one of these and stuff like that. There might be use cases for this, is what I'm saying. It's interesting. The UK is a plagiarised version of the most honking aspects of Greco-Roman culture. Hardly a basis for cultural identity. Aye. There was a small glimmer of patriotism that I had for the UK around about 1997. Wipeout, which isn't a UK invention, but it was promoted like... no, Wipeout was Pygnosis, wasn't it? Designers Republic. I think Wipeout was a UK invention. Hammy, was the dev team for Wipeout in the UK? Anyway, you had Wipeout, you had Chris Cunningham, you had Aphex Twin, Warp Music in general. It was an exciting time to be alive and to be part of some sort of UK culture. Then the Spice Girls came along and it's just... It went too far the other way, basically. But there's a wee glimmer of hope in the mid-90s that the UK might be kind of cool. Wipeout was made in the Liverpool studios. Thank you very much. There you go. Liverpool, man. Fucking, that's some city. Maximum respect to Liverpool, by the way. I didn't know they were in Liverpool. That's cool. Anyway, but it's kind of bogus that the flags are everywhere because... a lot of people just associate that visual iconography with violence, literal immediate violence or historical. Anyway, I don't like that flag. I had to buy import Reeboks because Reeboks in the UK have got a Union flag next to their logo. I'm not going to fucking wear that on my feet. But I really liked the shoe. This was years ago. So I found like a Spanish version that was it was actually cheaper, worked out cheaper. Got that imported. Because if you're in Scotland wearing a Union flag, or if you're in other parts of the UK wearing a Union flag, you're sort of potentially aligning yourself with certain things. Hammy says, I'm still more annoyed at Apple about liquid glass, which is a once-in-a-generation Apple UI miss. They're still failing some of the most basic user interface tests, like the values test, which is shocking in beta 5. I'd like a word with Apple, man. I'd like a word with Apple. I think they could turn that company around in a heartbeat if they wanted to. If they really wanted to make progressive change, make it easier for people who make things for your devices. Make it easy for people making apps. Make it easy for people releasing music and video on your platform. Give creators subsidies so as that they will create things for your Apple VR thing. Recently, I was looking into how to make a watch application. See the Apple Watch? If you want to make a wee app for that, fucking hell. It's brutal, man. I went onto YouTube and I'm like, okay, Apple Watch development. And the guys are just like, listen, don't get into this. Just don't do this. This is hellish. And if you think about what Steve Jobs ruined, which was Flash, which was an incredible platform for creative people to be expressive, and have replaced it with this pish. Anyway, what do I know though? What do I know? That's what I'm annoyed with Apple about. Just make it easy for people to make money on Apple Music. You've got enough money, Apple. Apple, you have got enough money. You've got all the money. Do you need more? What for? What are you going to do with it? Make liquid shit? You've got all the money. Seed some of the money. Give that to people to create things using your tools that are for the iPhone and the iPad and all of that. Make it exciting to make stuff. And that energy, you can market the fuck out of that, man. You can make it a really big deal. Anyway. Why has everybody not got as good ideas as I've got? Why is that? You know what I mean? Jesus Christ. Who is nostalgic for the Dickensian era? People that make decisions in media, Hammy. Also, Mercurator projection on maps makes the UK look huge. A pal of mine was amazed when I told him we'd fit in twice into Texas. Different projections on maps also make Scotland look smaller, which isn't a paranoid conspiracy theory. It's literally true. Anyway. Ghost Flame says, nice bit of xenophobia. Are you talking from me or just in general? Because I would like to correct that if you think I'm being xenophobic. Macaroni Prince says, I have a weird association with it because I was fully raised in British culture and I didn't realise I was living in stolen land till I was like 17. So it's very conflicting. Like, I'm still occasionally waking up more and more from horrible orange dream. For me, from a young age, it was very much, see the guys wearing that thing, they might kick your head in. So just watch out. It's ingrained into me. I never had to learn it. Purely survival stuff made me associate that. Anyway. Simulate Gaming says, I've never seen the Union flag associated with football personally, only the St. George. Simulate Gaming, if you don't mind me asking, what city are you in? Because that really will affect your perception of it. I'm asking personal information, so feel free to not tell me your city, because a lot of people don't want that mentioned. But in the context of this conversation, it will certainly matter. What's James up to? He says we're on the Chiral network now. Well, that's good. It is a cross between Death Stranding, right, setting up all the mesh networks, and Rust. So it's got pure like Rust aesthetics of like improvised radio base stations and things. They should get them in Rust. They really should. Dearie me. I've got a Heltec V3 on an 18650. What's an 18650? Is that the antenna that's pretty portable? WeShed says, how much does it cost to run? You're talking maximum like maybe a $5 a year or something like that, I would imagine. You can run it on a battery or run it via solar power, just a tiny wee thing. So it's less money to run than like a Raspberry Pi or something. TD says, honestly, I consider myself proud to be British and English and hopefully fly either flag, but it hurts people use them as a symbol of nationalism. I completely agree. And I think if I was English, I would be quite conflicted about it all. So I'm speaking in absolutes here, and the position that I'm speaking from is the position of a Scottish person that's pro-independence. But historically, Scotland has been involved in slave trade and all of that, and colonialisation and everything else. So it's not as if I'm saying, hey, everybody, it's all these guys' fault. But colonialism in general can be represented with that one flag. And for a lot of people, it means a lot of stuff. Anyway. But just for absolute clarity, in case I wasn't clear before, I'm talking about the people who govern us rather than citizens of anywhere. We don't really like the Spanish flag here in Spain for the same reasons. I totally get that. Totally get that. Spain has had a mad fash problem for many years, and fascists tend to use flags. It's a cultural tradition to deface the Union flag from your Reeboks here in Ireland. There's even a little cottage industry for tiny island flags to replace them with. I didn't know that, Clonsilla. That's cool. That's funny. Benzo Kane says, please, 10:30, I'd love a dressing down of the Apple Glass shit. I've not seen it for a wee while. Hammy has actually used it. Hammy's got the beta version on his phone. So every day he's seeing all the problems. The beta version is, I mean, it's in beta 5. It's quite late on. But they're still working on it. So I'm going to reserve judgment from it. But the liquid glass stuff, what's all of that about? Here is what the liquid glass stuff is about. You're Apple, right? All your creative people have left or died. And now you're running a multi-billion pound enterprise where you need to keep selling people phones every couple of years. But here's the problem. The phone's kinda as good as it's going to be. It's going to sort of plateau for a wee bit until we get some mad video synthesis chips in it or something like that. See, the iPhone 16 is kinda more or less as good as the iPhone 15. And see, the 15, it's more or less as good as the 14 and so on. I'm running an iPhone 12 Pro, and it's as good as I want it to be. I wouldn't mind slightly better cameras, sure, but I'm not going to buy... Like, I've got no reason to buy a new phone, and I'm somebody who makes stuff for the internet, does wee videos and all that sort of stuff. So, what do you do if you're Apple and you need to sell a phone next year because you're one of the biggest players in capitalism, right? And the way capitalism works is unsustainable, infinite growth forever. Even if you've made the most money that anybody's ever made this year, next year, people want you to grow. And in biology, that's called cancer, is when a cell infinitely grows and replicates. And yet, in our economic system, it's seen as a good thing somehow, right? Anyway, so what do you do if you need to grow and you need more profit next year and all of that sort of stuff, and you don't have any new tech to fit into it? Like tart it up a bit. What do you mean? Like using graphic design? Really? Because we've sort of prided ourselves on having good functional graphic design. Aye. So like add more graphic design into it so that people will buy it. Well, I mean, usually in graphic design, to do it well, like less is more. Do you know what I mean? So maybe instead of adding something, we could just refine it. No. It needs to be like razzle dazzle, like bamboozle them with like coloured shapes and shit like that. Well, I mean, that's very against our design ethos, isn't it? Because you've got like a usability and a readability consideration and all. Fuck off. Make the thing shiny and make it and all that, because we need to sell a phone next year. Right. Right. And that's why we have got liquid glass. I don't mind it if it's implemented well. Wow. I don't care too much. One of the reasons they are trying to make liquid glass happen. See if anybody doesn't know what I'm talking about. there's a new type of thing that's happening with Apple, where quite soon in our phones, all the menus and stuff are going to look all like glass. And lots of designers are up in arms about it because, well, ignore all of this stuff looks fine. There are certain scenarios where it just will hurt the readability because you're seeing transparent, like a transparent window over existing text and all of that. Because for some reason they are inspired by this big bit of acrylic, this guy and this woman, who've got a weird chemistry, by the way, think that using, like, doing this is, so this aesthetic for some reason. And so that's what it looks like on a phone. And the argument is that lots of people are saying that it's a bit just like, wow, like a bit just gimmicky and unpredictable. And then if you've got layers of stuff over text, it's not like, I mean, ignore all of this. This is just motion graphics to sell it. I'm talking about the actual use in a phone. Right, so here we go. And it is just a visual gimmick, isn't it? But a lot of people are saying, so you can kind of see here, behind it, you see what is behind it, but all sort of blurred and stuff. And depending on the colour of the thing behind it, and depending on the text that's on the thing, a lot of it can be kind of unreadable for the demos that we've saw. But it just is what it is. Like, look at all of that. It's distracting. I make graphics for television, right? And quite often you'll make some, but then there's like a flash and you're watching it back and something catches your attention, right? And here you're getting flashes coming up. So particularly in this, right? So see this frame for text here? When they scroll up, depending on what's behind that frame, the full frame might just briefly light up and it draws your attention towards it. And for a lot of people, you won't give a fuck about this, right? This isn't important. However, if you have been doing graphic design for all your life, you kind of have been primed to spot this. You see that sort of flash and is weird? It won't be like that on the final thing, I would be pretty sure. I would imagine there'll be a way of reducing the transparency or something like that in order to make it not happen. Overall, it's not finished yet. I don't really care. I'm more caring, if I could speak to Apple about fixing anything, it would be make it easier for people to release stuff on your platform. Even just now, right? Even just now, see on a Mac, I've been making my own Python applications, right? You can't run them. You can't just double click as a app. So I've used Py2 app or something to create an app file. So it's an application, a Mac application, not just a Python script. And if you double click that application, it comes up saying this is harmful for your computer. There used to be a wee button that says run it anyway. That button isn't there anymore. So if you want to run an unsigned app on your Mac, you need to double click the app and it'll say this is harmful for your computer, which it isn't. You then need to close that thing. You then need to go into settings, unprompted. You have to go into settings, then down to security. Then halfway down security, there'll be a wee thing saying, you recently tried to open an app. Are you sure you want to do that? And you click yes. And then your closed app will open up again and it runs fine. Talk about like a hostile environment for app developers. So if I want all of that to go away, I need to sign my apps with Apple, which costs, I think, £200 a year, and then something like £100 to submit an application to them for them to put a big check on it. I'm not trying to sell it in the App Store, not trying to do anything like that. It's not a phone app. Nothing like that. I'm just making a standalone application to share with some colleagues. And they're hitting you with all, like, try to squeeze money out of me. Fuck off. Make it easy to make stuff. Make it easy to make phone apps. Make it easy to make watch stuff. See, all of this, don't care about it, really. Don't care about it. However, imagine how cool Apple would be if tomorrow they said, if you're an independent music maker and you release music on Apple Music, we will give you 80% of the profits. How cool would that be? Imagine if tomorrow they said the same about games developers. Listen, everybody, we realise that the iPhone is a tremendous platform for interactivity and for being expressive and playing games and stuff. Here is a grant. Every month we're giving $1 million. They can afford that to an independent game developer in order to turn their game into something. Apple can do shit like that and they're not doing it. But if they did stuff like that, more people would feed into that whole ecosystem and it would be better for everybody. And they could brand themselves as the tools for creative people, which they used to do, remember? Now they're not doing that. They're branding themselves like, oh, tools for everybody. It used to be they were laser focused on performance in creative industries. That's what Apple used to be mainly. And then it was round about the time where they aligned themselves with Beats headphones. It became like a lifestyle thing. And that quickly started a deterioration in the congruity between the output and their marketing and design ethos. So in terms of the liquid glass stuff, I'm sort of over it, man. Looks better than Windows shit, right? If it annoys me, I'm sure there'll be a way that I can turn it off. As a graphic designer, I think it's a bit of a shame that a company that prides itself on graphics and all of that can make something that just isn't very informed. But some things aren't for me. Most things that used to be for me now aren't. And every day I just need to be like, all right, cool, man, cool. Anyway, 18650 is a battery. It is. 18650 is the battery I've got in my longer blue guy. Aye. Hammy says Flash did need to die. No, never, Hammy. Flash was brilliant. We need some form of web-based creative environment that's secure, that is easy to just fire stuff out. Remember E-Bombs World and all of that, Newgrounds? We need something like that. We don't have it anymore. TikTok could maybe make something. Anyway. People aren't making stuff anymore. It's all just short-form video content. Went to see Scotland versus England. Having never seen that many England flags in one place, felt a bit like 1930s Germany. Hoy, Zobby the Jobby. Anyway. It is a wee bit like Aero in Windows, 100%. I'm planning on running my iPhone 16 into dust. I'm still on the 12 Pro. It's still kind of good. Every now and again I need to restart it, but other than that. So Hammy says, here is one of the core issues in iOS 26. Where are we? Here's one of the core issues in iOS 26. The algorithm for deciding what colour the text should be over the background is fundamentally broken. Like this pish here. There's no readability, no even any legibility. So there's some stuff up here. Cool wallpaper though, innit? Oh, and there is actually supposed to be text here. You can't see that, but there is text down here. See here where my mouse is. There's a wee bit of text here, but you can't see that because, you know. Don't get me wrong, I have designed stuff before that is dynamic in a way that you don't know the colour that's behind it and all of that sort of stuff. So you need to add bogus things like drop shadows or wee sort of window panes or something that are semi-transparent to ensure separation from whatever goes behind it. And all of them seem like a compromise at some point. And then the more you add, like this full thing isn't a design decision. This is a marketing decision. We need to sell more stuff. Can you hit them with some razzle dazzle? This isn't coming for a design place. And but we'll see. We'll see what it's like. But that would do my head in if I had to use that all the time. But I'm sure there'll be a way of turning it off or something. I think one of the reasons for Apple leaning into this so much is the layers of transparency, right? So they're trying to promote layers of transparency. So if we look at this, you're getting pop-up layers of things and it's all flashing about and doing stuff, and you're getting glass and you're getting like a hierarchy of depths and all of that sort of stuff. Why are they doing layers of transparency? I reckon, and we saw it in the trailer that I just played that I've lost, but I reckon it's to do with the Apple VR headset, which might take a new cheaper form sometime soon. So when you put on the Apple VR headset, you've got all these windows floating in 3D space, and that might go overwhelming unless some of them are somehow transparent. You know what I mean? So I think they're trying to take that design language and get us used to it on phones and on our computers, so that by the time we are in this 3D world, that we're all going to be able to afford that design language becomes, so that there's parity across all the applications that we're using. Sorry, I've got streamer nose. I think I've got a wee dog hair in my nose. Dawn says, sorry, I said some stuff then got distracted by turkeys outside. I've no idea. I can't remember. Was I talking about Dean Cain? I don't know. I've still yet to speak to the woman about Dean Cain. Anyway. It's form at the expense of function, 100%. 100%. I can see why they're doing it. Oh, our new phones have got ultra-fast graphics chips in them for some reason. Really? What are you using them for? Nothing. Nothing at all. So, but there's new chips in them, and so can we like make the UI require, like, make it more computationally heavy? Sure. What sort of stuff? All like reflections and caustics and stuff. I don't think there's caustics involved, but it seems like marketing. You know. Hello, Avgas. Hello, and here's some very late, very good news. My PC has been down for the last 3 days, cold and dark. I finally figured out that I should just check the drivers. And lo and behold, says Avgas, 6 drivers were missing or very much out of date. Update your drivers, folks. Update your drivers. And Silver77, how you doing, mate? Silver77, welcome in. Thanks very much for subbing. Silver77 says, just catching the Apple conversation. Just got the iPhone 16 Pro and earlier the Mac Mini M4 Pro for music. In your opinion, is it a mistake? No, not at all. See the M4, any of the M machines, Apple Silicon machines, incredible. They're really, really fast and they don't require any power at all. I've got an M1 laptop and it's a couple of years old now, but it still does everything that I need it to do. The Apple hardware, insane. Like really, really good in terms of function. It's a bit of a pain in the arse that you can't upgrade the RAM or the hard drive without doing some serious surgery to it that a lot of people wouldn't be able to do. So that's a bit shite. However, if I had a couple of grand tomorrow to spend on a new machine, I would get a Mac, 100%. 100%. In terms of the iPhone 16 Pro, I don't know. I've never used one. I still would probably stay with the iPhone. iPhone seems to me like something where you pay a wee bit more and they just give you a bit less bogus bullshit. There's no like ads and stuff like that in your operating system or whatever. I'm on a 12 Pro, so I can't really comment on the 16 Pro. I think there's a new iPhone coming out in September. So if anybody's on the fence, I'd maybe wait until then. But no, Apple desktop computers, incredible. Really, really, really good. nowadays, and that never used to be the case. So all the comments there I'm just talking about are in regard to them as a company, and all that sort of stuff. But I'd still buy Apple stuff. Mike Almond, Bubbles. Hello, how's it going, Mike Almond? Welcome in. Maximum respect to you, and thank you very much for the Bubble Blast. How you doing? Channel 13 says, is there an open source app platform? I mean, if you're talking about like Linux, so Linux is an open source operating system. In practice, it doesn't work as well as you would hope it would for certain just desktop stuff. You can't run the Adobe applications on it. It doesn't really talk well with NVIDIA. NVIDIA as a company seem to be really hard to work with. Can't really play games on it, stuff like that, right? But Linux is an open source operating system that has totally had potential. And now is mainly used as like servers and stuff like that, like for industry and things. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it for your everyday computer usage, unless you're a total boffin and you're prepared to have that as a full project, keeping stuff up to date, fixing things, whatever else. But if you were to create an application for Linux, which is a hard thing to do and nobody uses it and it would cost you money for no reason at all, then that you could keep everything open source. Everything would be open source, from your application to like the right down to the hardware that's running it. You know what I mean? Anyway, Hammy says the glass stuff ships next month, Jings. So there isn't enough time to fix it. They're fucked. They are fucked in terms of that design language. But as I said, I'd imagine there'll be a way of turning it off. So in Windows they had Aero. I never really messed with that version of Windows. I stuck to whatever was before that. Was that Vista that had Aero? I was on Windows Millennium Edition. Does anybody remember that? Anyway. So Avgas, congratulations on updating your drivers. Keep those drivers up to date, everybody. Avgas, I'm very glad that your computer isn't kaput. Mike Almond and Silver77 and Genius Unapplied, thanks very much once again for subbing. And is Freddie the dog about? If you're just in, I've arranged all of this so as that Fred could be here. But Fred can't be fucked. And so he's away, he's just doing other stuff. There's a setting in iOS, remove transparency, always switch it off. Yes, same here. There's a setting, particularly if you're on an older phone, you can go in and turn off motion, like extended motion and transparency or something like that. There'll be a YouTube video that allows you to do it. So if you've got a slightly older iPhone, you go in, you turn that stuff off. It just means when you click a button, instead of the thing coming in from the side, it'll just sort of pop up, but it'll mean your phone's faster. So I'd recommend doing that. Anyway, I heard that they're going that direction to get people prepared for a wider rollout of augmented reality and Apple Vision devices. What they need to do to make people prepared for that is to make them cheaper. Just don't make them out of glass and aluminium, you weirdos. Anyway. But it'd be interesting to see how it ends up. I'd imagine they will just continue working on it. Cumblobs, pursue Cumblobs, there you go. Too many CEOs on the hash signing off big ideas, or too many CEOs not on hash. Need some creativity, man. eBombs World stole other people's content, rebranded it. Aye. I'm talking about just the ability. In fact, I don't think there was Flash on eBombs World, was there? There's a sculpture in Hastings to celebrate 106060's 1,000-year anniversary. They've put it up early. Brilliant. Apple obscuring the future. Apple making the future less legible. You can have those for free. I like it, Pursue. That's pretty good. Carnivore says, got gifted an iPod Shuffle years ago, connected it to my PC that had a lot of music I had downloaded, synced the iPod and all my music got wiped clean. Never liked Apple ever since. Oh I remember that. For a while on Apple Music, they would take your take the MP3 off of your computer, but then give you access to an Apple Music version that was in a weird format. Aye, do you remember that? They just ruined everybody's MP3 collection. I forgot about that. That was a dick move. That really was. And look at Apple Music now. It's a subscription service. Ableton does work really well on a Mac, and the Adobe applications work on it. See, as a desktop computer, I would still choose a Mac over a PC unless I had to stream or play video games. Those two things aren't that good on a Mac. But everything else, I would rather have it. Ableton works great on it as well. Hello, Eddie. I've got not the latest version of Ableton, but a couple before. Works brilliant, man. It's great. My other half is an iMac that is an expensive paperweight now because they just stopped supporting it. That's brutal. Blaketown, see if there is a way, usually online, there'll be a group of enthusiasts who might have a way of updating the most recent operating system depending on how old your iMac is. There might be a way of doing it. Mrs. Bowdy has a 16 Pro. I have the 16. I don't see much that would make me change up. I think one of them has got the wide angle lens or something like that. One of them you can do like raw video encoding or like ProRes 444 or something. I was looking into the video encoding capabilities of the iPhones because that has got really good. And I like my videos, you know. Chicken Chaser says, BAFTA were nice enough to give me an M4 MacBook for being poor. How did you figure that out, Chicken Chaser? I want a M4 MacBook from BAFTA. BAFTA gave me an award once, but I would rather have an M4 MacBook Pro. Zombie the Job says, I like my 2012 Mac Mini being solid. That's class. James Houston Jobs has 0 shares in Apple. I really don't. Silver77, so all my Apple moaning was just about the user interface. And even then, I don't really care because there'll be a setting to turn it off or to fix it. I don't really care. A lot of people in the design world are saying this is the worst thing that's it. I'm just like, takes a lot to rustle me. Every day I wake up and I see something's changed, it's changed for the worst. And so for this Apple thing, when I saw it, I'm just like, of course. Aye, of course. Yep. But in terms of using the computers are better than if you were to pay the same amount for a Windows machine. It's great. Upgraded from a 12 to a 15 and there's absolutely no noticeable difference apart from it's got a USB-C charger. That is good, right? See, having USB-C on your phone. I don't have USB-C. I've got the older Lightning thing, whatever it is, right? So it is good that they've moved to USB-C. However, that wasn't their decision. That was the EU that made them do that. So I can't even give that to Apple. Linux's weakness is as a desktop everyday computer, it's fantastic at doing everything else though. Aye, 100%. Hello Mac, this is 10:30 stream chat. There you go. You two, what you's like. I've used Linux before. I used Linux Mint for my parents' computer and it worked good there because they were just using a browser, right? So I set it up and it worked fine and I was able to maintain it and things. I was on Red Hat, or was it Mandrake Linux or something, when I was about 13 or 14. Ran that for a couple of years as my primary main computer. I mean, I was dual booting, I had Windows as well. But I just did it out of fucking boredom when I was like 12 or 13. I didn't really have any reason for doing it. Any use run Linux full time on your desktop? I watched a Linus Tech Tips video recently where they were trying to run Linux on the desktop and they were just coming into horrible problems. Like, what happens if you've got an NVIDIA graphics card and 2 monitors? Oh, hellish. And you're on forums and you're trying to figure it, and the user interface isn't giving you errors because it's just made by volunteers. Just pish, man. Pish. But if you're building something to just set it up and then deploy it, Linux can be a useful tool, but anybody who would make use of that will already know the benefits of Linux without me talking about it. I was trying to use Ableton 12 on a Windows i5, some difference. That's incredible. Sean Hancock asks, how's Fred? I don't know how up to date you are, Sean Hancock. He was in recently. He was up here, but basically he's got lymphoma, so that's cancer in his lymph nodes. And it's no good news. And so we're going to take him for further tests tomorrow at a specialist medical facility. And they will tell us if it's B cells or T cells. B cells would be the better news. But even then, apparently, like the average is maybe like a year. So, and even then, that's a year under treatment and things like that. So he's not going to be. It's bad news for Fred, basically. So I'm still trying to kind of process and accept all of that sort of stuff. But he doesn't know he's ill, so he's still like, running about and chasing pigeons and stuff. Wee guy, man. Upgraded from a 12 to a 15 and there's absolutely no noticeable difference. Rhinoceros says, I was considering upgrading this because it's every now and again I need to restart it. But anyway. Windows Robbie Williams edition, 100%. I have Windows laptops from 2016 that's great, even to today's standards, but my CPU isn't on the Windows 11 upgrade list, so I'm stuck about what to do, asks Channel 13. I think there's a way of installing Windows 11 on certain CPUs. In fact, I know for a fact there is, because I did it on my bubble computer. So Gibbs, who might or might not be in chat, stole me about 3 computers from an orphanage or something. I don't know where he got them, didn't ask any questions. And the reason they were all going free is because their processors couldn't be upgraded to Windows 11. So they had to sell them for security reasons. But there's a way online, depending on how tech savvy you are and depending on how much effort you're willing to put into it, I'm sure depending on what processor you've got, there is a way of installing Windows 11 on your thing. Might break and stuff, but give it a shot. Fred's away streaming for the loft. Fred's got his own streams. Fair warning, a lot of the accessibility settings like reduced motion and reduced transparency breaks some things in quite a few apps. Really, I haven't noticed that at all. The last time I used it in earnest was on the phone I had before that. My prediction, Liquid Glass is gone or tuned down to 10% and becomes frosted by the 27 OSs. I think you're right. Having an issue with latency when opening up the new audio track. Close Ableton and open it again and it's fine sometimes. Any idea of what would be causing that? I'm not too sure, but if you go into... you'll know Ableton better than I do. Is this going to let me load Ableton without signing in? It depends on I don't know. See, offhand, I don't know. I would go into preferences and fart about with the wee sliders. You know, the sliders that I'm talking about where you're sort of tightrope between latency versus quality. And depending on, you might need like an external USB audio interface as well, depending on what you're plugging it into it. I've opened up Ableton and my computer fans have just opened up. So there's something about in here somewhere, isn't it? To do with audio. So your sample rates, you've got input buffer size and output buffer size. Before you mess about with them, write down the values that they're currently at. And if you turn the samples down, you will get better latency, but I think the quality won't be as good. So there'll be a trade-off there. So instead of making that trade-off, I'd maybe close it and open it again if it means that you're getting zero latency, but full on. Seems like a wee bug somewhere or whatever. I would look to see if anything else is using your audio. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I go on the forums. The USB-C connector was designed by Apple. That's interesting. They didn't want to put it in their phones, though, eh? Where are we? 16 Pro can do raw direct in SSD. That's very useful for a small group of people, and most folk won't want to do it, but I'm glad that it's got there. I think the 12 has got a LiDAR sensor as well. Do you have ASIO for all? I do, channel 13, yes. So the reason I've got ASIO for all is because my Wave XLR, which is a streamer branded sound interface, doesn't have ASIO, which means it can't directly speak to Ableton. So I'm running ASIO for all, which means that I can use this mic in Ableton using some third-party bogus bullshit because Elgato won't put it in it natively. So there you go. Hello, Lavi and Avi. I still don't know how to say your name, I'm sorry. Fred is kicking about, but he's just a bit busy. He's away. Aye, so maybe that ASIO for all thing might work. What is this technology grant? The Transition Fund Technology Grant is a new initiative designed to help combat digital isolation for young people. Applicants can pick up one of two pieces of technology to help them get online. A 10.2-inch Apple iPad tablet, computer, or Microsoft Surface. What? Who's eligible for that then? Young people? I know some young people. 16 to 25? I don't know that group. But that's good, isn't it? Do you know about this? Any 16 to 25-year-old Scottish people in? Do you want a free iPad? If you're between 16 and 25 years old and you're in Scotland, check out the technology grant. I wonder if Rachel's sister might benefit for this. You can get a wee iPad. Stick that on Gumtree, buy some hash, job done. Am I right, everybody? Yeah. That's pretty good. That's good. Can I just say, Scotland. Fucking Scotland, man. You wouldn't see this with a Union Jack next to it if it was a grant like this wouldn't come from down there. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'll probably be wrong. But see the money that would go into a grant like this, if Westminster were designing it, it would be like a landlord grant or a munitions factory grant or something like that. It wouldn't be to give computer devices to young people in order to combat isolation and loneliness. That there is a Scottish idea, and I'd just like to point that out. Some things are devolved, and usually we do that better. Pedropolis says, Debian Geek, were you in earlier? I was talking about mesh networks, Pedropolis. How's it going? Welcome in. One of my laptops is Ubuntu, works great. Class. I Can't Give a Duck says, so if there's anyone in your life that needs an Apple, whether it be a tablet or an iPad or no, then there's funding for it. That is cool. That's really good. You need to be between 16 to 25. But I should know more about funding opportunities, man. I used to job out my laptop at uni, but can't be fucked with all the driver issues. Same here. I installed Linux Mint on my EliteBook laptop recently. It's great, but battery life is significantly worse than under Windows. Interesting. I mean, there is use cases for it, definitely. Thank you, Sean Hancock Photo Film. It's bad news for Fred Dog, everybody. Hello, Neil Songs. How's it going? Thanks for all your messages. I'm trying to say it over and over again as a matter-of-fact thing so that I will accept it. Because it's all happened very, very quickly. Hammy says, I have a 15 Pro. The camera's amazing. Amazing. I wouldn't mind a new phone, but if I had that money, I've got 2 half teeth here that need fixed. Pretty sure Fred is going to cost me some money. and then on top of that, I'm getting maybe one shift per month for the BBC. So I really need to put money by right now. So if I had a spare couple of grand, I wouldn't be buying a new iPhone with it, you know. Scottish streamer admits to making Bubble Robot with stolen orphanage computers. Listen, it wasn't me that stole them, it was Gibbs. Wasn't me. I'm a wee bit tech savvy, but I'd hate to break the laptop, so I may just use it offline. Channel 13, have a wee look, because it might be easier than you think. Just go into YouTube, look at install Windows 11 on your processor, and see. There might be a guy just being like, this is a piece of piss, bang, 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 job done. Or it might be like, well, you know. And if it's the first one, you could do it and it'll be fine. I think you'll be out of warranty and all of that, but like... Anyway. Tried all that. I don't know then. You're on your own. Affects latency the most, I find. Buffer, right, I never really understand really what I'm doing in there. Same with Serato and hardware controllers, I can only imagine. Latency is generally fantastic until I open a new audio track. Some I've never encountered. I think a wee channel points redeemed to help with tech problems would be fun. I think that would be fun, Carivore. I think maybe we need a new screen for it as well, and you could consult me kind of like the Games Master. And if I don't know, I'll tell you I don't know. Or we could do a wee bit of research and stuff on it. That would be cool. Why is it always 16 to 25 and never 16 plus 25? Scroobius Pip, well observed. Everybody else, that's the sort of thing that you need to see written down. You know what I mean? In order to appreciate. Aye, and like I was 16 to 25 at some point and I never got offered this. So could you backdate it for me, please? Because I'm technologically isolated and lonely. Anyway, I'm going to get a gun grant. Fucking yes, B. Dolan. Listen, don't get me wrong, I'm anti-gun, right? Don't like violence in any way. But see if I was an American, man. Concealed carry, fucking Glock, man. Fucking 300 to 500 wild boars won't know what's hit them. Might as well, man. Some buzz. Scroobius Pip, that's right, you were in Star Wars. Pip, we haven't had the Star Wars conversation. I remember when Scroobius Pip was in Star Wars, I was like, fuck, I need to know lots. Whenever he's free or whenever I meet up with him next, I'm going to talk to him about Star Wars. And it's all sort of been and gone, really, and I forgot to like quiz you on it because we had more important stuff to talk about. So at some point, I'm going to ask you like really boring questions about Star Wars, if that's all right, and what happens behind the scenes and stuff. There are 2 grants you can get for installing charge points for your electric vehicles at a property you own as a landlord. Unironically, yes, you are right. There we go. I'm right. Carivore says, shall we get a wee Fred GoFundMe? It's a good idea, Carivore, but I don't think I need it just now. As far as I'm aware, I'm insured. Well, I'm insured, but I don't know what the insurance covers. The insurance company that I'm with is kind of antiquated, so I can't just go online and see the policy. I've had to request all the documents get sent to me and all that sort of stuff, so they are still in the middle of coming through. So I think he should be fully insured. I might need to pay an excess or something. I don't know what all of that's involved, but I don't imagine it'll be a lot of money. Also, right, I don't really want to make any decisions just now, right? Because we don't know what the deal is. But my previous dog, Max, right, he had stomach cancer. And it was very much like, right, well, when you're ready phone the vet and you can drive him in and that'll be his final journey. And I put it off for too long, man. I didn't want to accept that was the reality of stuff. And he still was like, he still had a waggy tail on his last day and everything. But maybe I gave that guy like 4 weeks of pain where, you know what I mean? So with Fred, the diagnosis as it stands just now, even if we give him chemotherapy and all different types of invasive treatment and stuff like that, you're talking about a year maximum from what I understand. But if within that year he's going to be ill and he's going to be in pain and stuff, then I want to use what I learned from Max to make a better decision for Fred. But we'll find out tomorrow. You know what I mean? So I don't think this is a problem that money can solve, is what I'm saying. But we'll find out tomorrow, really, the ins and outs, how bad it is. It depends on if it's spread as well, so it might have spread to other parts of his body. We don't know that. If it was a year, if I could get another year of his life for some money and he would be as active as he is just now, of course, man, I would find a way to make it happen. I'd get an extra job or something like that and we could figure it out. But I don't know if he will be as active and energetic for much longer. And if he isn't active or energetic, and if he's not happy, I don't want to prolong that for longer than what I need to do. All of this sounds kind of grim and brutal, right? But I'm responsible for him, so I need to consider all aspects of this sort of stuff. So we'll see how it goes. Rolling Sausage says, I'm anti-gun, but I want to do the Terminator 2 shotgun spin reload. It's cool, man, isn't it? The fucking flip like that. Anytime you want, sir. Dynamite. I've got bored and stuff. What the hell happened there? Sean, is that Sean Hancock photo film or is it a different Sean? Thank you very much for tenner on Ko-fi. Thank you very, very, very much. I appreciate that. Lots of people have been very generous on Ko-fi. I haven't asked for money today, right? But any money you've put on Ko-fi, I'm putting aside. I'm not asking for money for Fred. I might do if I need to. Right now, I'm not asking for money for Fred. But all the money that has been sent today, that will be paying the excess. So I'm already, before treatment starts tomorrow, I've already spent 380 quid, which I should be getting back. Tomorrow, I need to spend another 380 quid to just be in the building, which I should be getting back as well. But it's an insurance company, and I'm autistic. I find it really difficult to navigate all that sort of stuff and to make sense of it. But from my current understanding, I think we're all insured and I think it's all fine. But I will be more informed about that sort of stuff when they get back to me and things. So we'll see how it goes. But it's fucking brutal, man. It's absolutely brutal. It's one of the constant truths in life that the money can never solve the inevitable of life itself, unfortunately. 100%. For a wee bit of balance, Rolling Sausage has just informed us that Fred has just done a really stinking fart. Where is Fred the dog? Fred, you want to come in and make us all cheery and happy, pal? Because that got fucking depressing, pal. Freddie, come on in, find my nose. Freddy! He's maybe out the back, or he's maybe sleeping. You're the other dog. I'm not interested in the other dog today. Oh, I'm not interested in the wee other dog, a wee cutie pie. I'm into Fred the dog. How's it going, Fred?
Yeah, boobies.
Have we got Fred the dog and Cutie Pie? Fred, check this, man. Fred, check this out. Fred, check this out. B. Dolan, anytime you want to watch Terminator 2, me and Rachel are involved. Yeah, man.
I love Terminator 2.
I love Terminator 2. Rachel loves Terminator 2. Freddie? Freddie, a wee biscuit thing? Yeah, man.
Your willy's out again?
Freddie, why have you got your pinger out? He gets his willy out when we're giving him treats, man. It's fucking weird.
You know who he gets his willy out for my bum a lot.
Aye, Rachel's mum comes over, this guy. Freddie, she's not even that nice.
Hey! Don't be mean about my mum.
Look, I'm just saying, if I was a Doug, I wouldn't get a pinger. But I'm not saying she's not nice looking. I retract that. What I'm saying is, you know what I mean? She's a lovely woman. Lovely looking woman. See, I know I'm fucking trapped in a situation now. But if I was a Doug, I wouldn't like, you know what I mean? I think that's a perfectly reasonable thing to say.
My mum gives Fred quite a lot of treats though, so that's probably why.
Maybe it's the sexy treats. Is it, Freddie? It's the sexy
She
treats?
says she's made homemade peanut butter ice cream for them.
What do you think about that, Fred?
Oh, the wagon tails.
Yeah, wagging tails. You said it's too late now. I say the worst stuff
You do.
in front of Rachel's family. Her cousin brought over the newborn baby, which is the first and only time that I've met the baby, because like I find it difficult to pretend to be interested in stuff that I don't give a shit about, right? And like, fair enough, a cool wee baby. Oh, a cool wee newborn. Oh, right, that's cool. And they're good people and all of that sort of stuff, and it's a cool wee baby and everything's good, right? But there is me in the middle of this social interaction. Do you want to hold the baby? And I'm like, yep. So I've got the baby here, and it's all going well and stuff. Protect the neck. Learned that for rappers. Protect the neck. And then I was amazed. What I meant to say is, oh wow, she's got a beautiful head of hair.
What did you say though, Jim?
I didn't say that though.
What did he say, Freddie?
I said, and I quote, "Oh, it's awfully hairy, isn't it?" Didn't mean to say that about their new precious daughter. Oh, it's awfully hairy, isn't it? So the Wayne was very quickly taken back from me. Never seen any of that crowd ever again. Just don't. Fucked it.
Jordan was nearly having twins. That's my sister's boyfriend. He nearly just like wet himself.
In the past, right, I'd be thinking about this, trying to get to sleep and stuff like that. Oh my God, I'm a horrible bastard. I don't deserve to socialise with people. Oh, I'm such a prick and stuff, right? But now I can just be like that. Autism. I'm autistic. And if you've got a problem with what I just said, that's fucking ableist and you're out of order. So go fuck yourself. And that's good, isn't it? Get out of jail free, it's fine. I can say anything about any baby, man. Fred is looking up at you knowing. I said the wrong thing. Freddie, do you know who's awfully hairy? Yeah, do you know who's awfully hairy, Freddie? It's Fred the dog. Oh, it's Fred the dog. You see, he's laboured breathing. He's quite like, and he's not usually like that. So, and it's because of these. If you've been scratching and just felt the lumps, it makes you feel sick. I've not felt the tummy ones. So he's not doing very good as our Fred.
I think today's not been a very good day, has it, Freddie, for you?
Has he not been very good?
No, you've been really sleepy today. And a lot of this.
Yeah, good boy.
Me, the best boy, isn't he?
Well, Freddie, see from now on, I've got a slightly reduced streaming experience, right, because of compromises, right? But it means that for every stream that I do, when I'm in here and you're usually out there, you can come in, you can hang out. How's that sound? And see if you want to steal any of my wee bits, You can just steal them, man. It's fine. What's going to happen?
Fight, stealing all the 20 pences. Stealing all those 20 pences.
What's going to happen, man? Did anyway, it's fine. Steal all the wee bits, it's fine. Fill your boots. I might buy wee bits for you to steal. Will we do that?
We get some screws. Some nuts and bolts.
I think I've got some screws kicking about, Fred.
We do need to give your teeth a brush.
Aye, teeth's a wee bit stinky, but he doesn't like getting his teeth
Just in
brushed.
case-
Oh, Fred Macaulay, man.
But you done a big stinking fart.
Do you do a big fart out your belly? Is that what we can expect from now on?
Yay!
Yeah. Maxie's cancer shites. It's just the worst smell that you could ever imagine. But that was stomach cancer, so that's all involved there. I don't think this boy will do big honking shites, will you?
Always does big
Aye,
shite.
always does. He always does.
He likes to walk in shite.
Carnivore says, at least you never said you too to a delivery driver. Thank you, Carnivore. Thank you very, very much. Dearie me. Precious newborn Tribble. The trouble with tribbles. Tribbles were all just wigs, weren't they? My God. I thought of 3 worst things you could have said when handed a newborn. Aye, in my defence, it could have been much worse. But anyway, it was bad enough for them to just not speak to us again. To be fair, it's better than my responses, which have always been, do you want to hold the baby? No.
Rebecca done that? Nah.
Nah. No, I'm alright, thanks. Back to the phone. Aye, I'm alright. Don't get me wrong, like, sometimes I'll see if it's like a wee cute toddler and he's like,
Natasha's.
aye, I was thinking about that. So we've got a pal who's had a baby recently and it's fucking cool, man. He's like a wee charmer, you know what I mean?
He was doing it.
To the point where his parents are saying he's getting away with too much because he's just like, he just looks like a wee Pixar character and he knows it and he's using it to like manipulate people and get free shit and stuff. But
I went out to lunch with her.
can everybody hear
Yeah.
Rachel?
I went out to lunch with her and he was looking at the ladies across sitting. He was like going like making eyes at him. It was really cute.
He's a wee
And she was saying, "Oh, he's a big flirt." Got stinky teeth.
Hello, Lama Chan. How you doing? Welcome in. Lama, are you up to speed with the sad Fred news? I think you might be, but you've not been in, and I've no spoke to you about it. But I think I've spoke to everybody else. Hey, Freddy boy, you remember Lama Chan, don't you?
Remember Lana?
You remember Lama?
Tail fluttered a wee bit. Got itchy.
Got itchy bits just there. Is that your sore bit? Will I get it for you? There we go. Let me get. Oh, wee guy, ain't you?
Okay.
Yeah, wee doggy man.
Thanks, you go.
Yeah, boy.
Thanks, you go.
But Rachel was just saying yesterday, she was like, Fred's met a lot of famous people. And I was like, what are you on about? Sorry, I've got Fred hairs everywhere.
He's need a big brush as well.
You do need a big brush. Hey, pal, we get you brushed.
We'll get you brushed tonight.
Mhm.
At the door.
Get you all nice for your appointment tomorrow. Oh, we need to capture his pee as well.
Does it need to be fresh?
Well, between now and tomorrow.
Oh, we'll get pee, won't we?
We'll get your
Get
piss,
your pee.
get some pissies done.
Piss.
Need to capture it in some sort of vessel. A piss vessel?
Piss vessel.
What do you think?
We'll capture it in a jug.
That'll be difficult, won't it? That'll be a project. So we're taking this guy 9 o'clock tomorrow. And we will find out what the next steps are. Find out what the next steps is. Eh, bro? But it's not very good. Toddlers are much more fun than babies, aye. Babies just cry and stuff. We like grow up. Nobody is better off when you agree to hold someone's baby. Aye. Like, see if I was the parent of a baby. Need to like bond with, oh, right, okay, learn out how to do this. I'm responsible for this.
Sorry to interrupt. That spider's just over on the windowsill.
There's a massive spider.
The Jim threw at me.
I didn't throw at you. Oh, I see him. I see him.
threw it at me, Freddie, didn't he?
I didn't. I was just being. It was more your scream.
I didn't scream.
You did. You went, oh!
No, I didn't. Whoop.
Aye. And I was like trapped in a thing. So I was more responding to the scream. See if it was just like, oh, a spider. Me and spiders are cool, man. For the most part, unless, you know, I get a bit scared. Freddie, you eat the spiders, don't you?
Spiders.
You eat up the spiders?
They like going.
It'll go bang and then put both paws either side and just watch it for life. And if it wriggles again, sometimes he'll let it get a bit away, then he'll go bang like that. He goes down. You hunt the spiders, don't you? I was trying to tell you don't have to because they're our friends because they keep the flies away. Freddie's like, circle of life.
Pepper doesn't know anything.
Pepper doesn't know anything. Pepper just saw you there. I thought you were a wee discarded pair of trousers. Pepper, do you want to come up? You're just staring at me. I thought you were a wee discarded pair of gloves. Wee Pepper dog. What's even going on?
You're a wee soul.
You are a wee soul, Pepper. Got it all happening down there, don't you?
Back again.
Tiny wee girl dog.
Oh, it's my face. It's my face.
Goodness me. Silver77 says, I have said thanks to a cash machine.
Oh.
So there you go, man. There you go.
Once took money out of the cash machine and left the money under your card.
That's because you were distracting me, hitting me with all sorts of chat. Aye. Aye, that wasn't good. And then some guy laughed at me. No, he was just like, ha ha. I'm like, right. Took the money out, walked away with the money because I was all overwhelmed. Where are we in chat? They're worse than anything else they supposedly help against, which they almost never do. We talking about babies still? I leave a few in the top corners to capture flies and midges. Spiders. Spiders. Talking about spiders.
In the corner.
Just leave a couple of babies over there in case some spiders come in. The insect world terrifies Fred. No, he likes the hunt, don't you? He'll hunt flies. He gets involved, man. He knows it's all. He knows about nature. Freddie, Nana, Betsy, and all of that. It's your part, isn't it? Freddie knows all about animals. Yesterday, guess what Freddie met? Guess who Freddie met yesterday?
Who did you meet yesterday? Oh,
Didn't we, Freddie?
who did you meet yesterday?
We walked past a horse.
That was right in my mouth.
Freddie, don't put your tongue in Rachel's mouth. That's ridiculous.
Especially when you've been letting your willy.
We walked past a big horse, and he didn't we remember the horse?
Remember the horse? Didn't give a shit.
Well, he was sort of semi giving a shit, but he did good. Put him in a short lead. The horse was a bit just like that. But he did well, Fred. I wasn't too sure how that was going to work. And then a couple of days before that, remember we walked past loads of like a big annoying family with like big things, and they had all this like stuff that made noise, hula hoops. See like the big balls, and you go like that. All this colourful, flashy shit. And I was like, oh no, he's not going to react favourably. And you reacted favourably, didn't you? You were a wee champion. You got a bit of fluff. Aye, we need to give you a big brush.
Big brush, teeth brushed.
So he's doing really well. I like this semi-sedated Fred.
I don't like that you keep putting his tongue in my mouth though.
Well, he's just saying that he loves you. Aye, moths are cool, but they mess up. Moths attacked. I had a scarf that was originally my grandpa's. It's the only heirloom for anybody that I've got. And moths got to it, and there's big holes in this really nice scarf, and I was gutted when I found it. So fuck moths for that one particular thing. But other than that, moths are cool. They can kick about. He is such a good boy, Super D. Silver77 says, my Leo caught a wasp yesterday. Numpty, thankfully no swelling. Fred has eaten multiple wasps. I'm trying to tell him they're spicy flies, don't. And he's like, you fuck off, I'll do what I want. And then he'll eat the wasp, and then for maybe an hour go, ah! Don't you?
Yeah, you get though.
That's the noise you make after you've eaten a wasp.
You go,
Ah! Like that. And then it's all fine. All disappears, all fine. And that's what Freddie does. Deary me.
Pepper just eats her own shit.
Pepper eats her own shite. I want to give him a big fuss.
No.
Look, what he's giving Rachel a big
giving me a
fuss.
big fuss.
So he is getting it. He is getting it.
Fussed. Get it fussed all over.
Freddie, what's this? Do you want to see Lama-chan close up? What are these, bro? Right, come on then. Oh, high energy. Do you want a wee one? Oh, where did that go? Yes. Then do you want another one? Look up here.
Can I get one
Yes.
for please?
Well, give me a wee second because if I give one to you, he will then want it for you. But I'm in the middle of trying to do a thing. See if I put that up there. Freddie, where is it? Can you get it for up here?
One fell.
One I know fell. I think that's for you. Woof, woof, woof. You can't see my thing, can you? Freddie, well, I put one on top here, look. Oh, you got it on celebrity. You've got it on celebrity, my man, haven't you? Yeah, line back down. Well, you didn't get that one up there.
Let's get one.
Yeah.
She's
Look, look, look. Look, 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 look. She's like, I saw everything there. You didn't film me. I saw absolutely everything.
Don't have anything for
There was a
me.
transaction, wasn't there, mate? Oh, big Freddy.
Fred.
Yeah, you're all active now. You're feeling much better now, aren't you? There's wee treats on the go. Do they taste tasty? I'm sure they taste absolutely brilliant, mate. Mm-hmm. Wee Freddy. You're not getting any more.
No, just because you're sick doesn't mean you get to be cheeky and eat loads of rubbish.
Bought my cheeseburger a couple of days ago.
His eyes were like,
Do you remember the cheeseburgers, Freddie?
cheeseburger.
Yeah, loved it. Fuck it, man. Fuck it. Might as well. Got a nice big cheeseburger, didn't you? Didn't he feed you the bun, though, because you can't digest bread?
And it was a plain cheeseburger.
And it was a plain cheeseburger, so it's just meat and cheese, right? So not like, but it was still fucking brilliant, wasn't it, Freddie?
And you got some chippies.
Got some chippies as well. Fred loves a chippy, man. Didn't you?
She's like, "Are we
No, you didn't get anything. We just left you. she just licked her lips. She knows the word chippies. We're not getting any today. Maybe you'll get some. Maybe you'll get some lovely chippies. Eh? You get some nice chippies? Yeah, good guy. What's all of this stuff? You seen it all? Look, they're all people, man. Look, they're all people. You see them? Anyway.
Where's Jim's nose? Can you find Jim's nose?
Good boy. Good boy. He knows who we are and stuff. So if I say, Freddie, can you boop the snoot with Rachel? With Rachel? Boop the snoot?
Yes.
Good boy. He knows all of that. He's clever, man. He's clever. Sick dogs get Nando's. I quite like Nando's, but Rachel doesn't like Nando's.
Just rice and chicken in it.
But I quite like it. Rice and chicken's
You can
good.
make rice and chicken yourself.
But you don't, and I don't. I do sometimes.
I make fake Nando's for you and it's always better.
Aye, but I'm just saying. It's tasty.
I'm always feel disappointed with Nando's.
Fair enough. I respect that. Fuck yeah, Burger Boy, 100%, 100%. That's me away for chores. Love to all, pal. Thank you, Bowdy, just for being sound today. Ever had a pop cup for Starbucks? No, I haven't. That sounds like a mutual aid fund that's been set up. Well, the big ones, Leave To, of course, is even known among coroners. I mean, they just do. Window needs to be really open. Oh, aye, for spiders. Aye. I'm fine with spiders kicking about the house. I don't really care. I think spiders are cool. Anyway. Fred, do you remember Llama-chan? Fred's like, of course. Last stream you did, well, not last stream because that was at like 4 a.m, but the last stream that I had you in the big telly on, Fred was up like that,
It's like,
looking. I think Fred likes to hear beep, don't you?
yeah.
It's like that, the fuck's that? Birdie noises, you into it, Freddy? Feels like there's something else massive that I wanted to tell yous, and I don't know what it was. Created a mesh network, fixed my lights so that they work on my new... Look at how responsive they are, man. Look at that. They've never been that responsive. Yous don't care. To you, it just looks the same. But for me, that's reliable and brilliant. Circular polarizing filter. Fred, look what I've found. Good boy. Circular polarizing filter means that you don't see the reflection of stuff And that's cool. Have you seen this, Rachel?
Taking a selfie with him.
It does look as if. So look at that. That's with the polarizing filter. Oh, I know. Are you seeing it? Oh, good boy. Oh, you're a good boy. And then you can turn it down like that, and it means you don't see my reflection. How cool are polarizing filters, man? That work what?
On your glasses?
Maybe. Will I try it out in my glasses? My glasses! Freddie, do you want to try these glasses on? There you go. Now you can read Twitch chat. Nah, you don't want it? That's fair.
Just Pepper wanting up. Well,
Where
this
is it?
was aggro.
Where is she? I think if Pepper's up, Fred will go down because Fred, you don't like Pepper, do you? You don't really like her, do you? Because she's kind of competition. She's a wee bit annoying, isn't she? But I like her, Freddie. I think she should stay. What do you think? You a good boy? We'll let Pepper up, or Fred says just leave Pepper. Fred's got cancer. Just leave Pepper. He's in charge, aren't you? You make the decisions. Aye, let's see if... So it doesn't get rid of the main bits here, but it might get rid of some sort of reflections. I don't know. Non-Nando's required. Rachel is cheeky enough. I think Fred is cheeky enough for all of us. Hiya, mate. Hiya, mate. Yeah, good boy. Good. Les Dennis, no knowing anything, asks, or I don't know what this is in context to, can he rewire old copper coax to Cat 6 in a bungalow though? I don't think he can. I don't think he can. He's very clever. He can count. Can count to 7, can't you? But not very good at networking. Eh? Not very good at networking, eh? But Fred does tell me that for video transferal, you will want Cat 6e or above. But Freddie doesn't like cats, do you? Oh, my boy. You a good lad, aren't you? Aye, this is a good spot to be in, mate, isn't it? Up here. This is a good spot to be in. Will we do all the streams like this from now on? And even if you get a bubble blast, it's fine, you don't mind. Oh, it's big Freddie. He's a big good boy, man. He's a big good boy. Oh, aye, I was going to ask the woman about Dean Cain. 100%. That's exactly what I was going to do. The lads, I remember the lads with a Z. But listen, it's got really dear to get any sort of food takeaway nowadays.
You're looking at least like 30 pounds.
No, like, add another 20 quid. It's really dear.
It's really dear.
Right, see you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye then. I'll speak to the woman about Dean Cain. Where are we? Dean Cain. So Dean Cain, formerly Superman, has joined ICE, which is the American territorial army, basically, but they're giving them thousands of pounds to buy military equipment and then go after marginalised groups. So the guy who used to be Superman is now involved in all of that. Dean Cain, more like Ween Pain. I love it. I love it. That's good. That's very good. I thought the polarising filter would say it doesn't care for The Godfather. That's good. Miss Lucifera, thanks very much. And thanks everybody for all your comments. I'm speaking about it all quite matter-of-factly in order for me to kind of accept it and stuff like that. Right, so before we do Dean Cain, right, I want to test out the polarising filter. So, I mean, it might be better like this, right? And in one orientation, you might be able to see Dean Cain in my glasses, but in another orientation, you won't. So right now, you shouldn't be able to see Dean Cain. And if I do this, aye, there we go. So here, you see that illuminate and then de-illuminate, if that's a word. So on and off, and on and off. And so similarly, this thing here is Dean Cain, that's Superman, right? And if I just want to make him disappear, I just move the polarising filter, boom shakalaka, and you can't see any of the reflections. And an unintended consequence of that is that my skin looks kind of matte as well. It's removed the shine from my skin, which is cool. Because lots of people use makeup and stuff for that, just to take the shine off your skin. So that's interesting. Polarizing filter. That's what that does. It's useful if you need to take a photo through a window, or if you, say you're fishing and you want to see through the water, through the reflection on the water, to actually what's inside. Polarizing light. Everybody strongly encourage you to get a pair of sunglasses that have got polarizing filters on it. Oh, what happens if I do this? So these are a polarizing bit of glass over this polarizing filter here. But I wonder what will happen if I rotate this. Ah, you see that? Look at this. That's magic, innit? I know how it works. Basically, light's doing this or something. And in this, there's like, and then. But I don't know actually how it works, man. How does it know 90 degrees? How does it know what way's up and all of that? Mental stuff. Absolutely mental. So that polarizing filter is a similar thing that's in here that stops you from spotting if I've accidentally got a not safe for work thing up on my screen. Anyway. When I finally visit Glasgow, I'm going to book a sit-down meal at Best Kebab. Don't, Les, Best Kebab. Best Kebab are baddies, and they will give you food poisoning. No, that's libelous. What I said is libelous. Ah, well. Kinda, I used to enjoy it as like a shithole, but our shithole. Then I heard some stories, and now I'm just like, actually, fuck the place. For a wee while in Best Kebab, I was going to make like a wee model miniature to commemorate it. I wouldn't even joke about it nowadays, just don't want anything to do with it. I've heard things about staff. Anyway, Superman could be interpreted as a supremacist immigrant. It would explain Jerry Seinfeld's obsession. Well, the vibe is, right, this Dean Cain cunt, and he is, right, wants to work for the American government and get rid of immigrants, basically. And that, according to Trump, is going to now extend, I think, to even people who were born in the US or something like that. I was hearing, right? But in Dean Cain's version of Superman, the plot was kind of about Superman himself being an illegal alien and the prejudice and discrimination that he suffered because of that. And then eventually when they realised, oh no, wait, he's Superman, he became an icon of Americana. And that was the overall narrative for the Dean Cain televised Superman story, if I'm not mistaken. But now, the guy, having not understood a fucking thing about any of it, because he's a stupid bastard, is expressing his stupidness. And what's quite pathetic is he's done it with like a fake Superman logo on his chest, but with the American flag. That's some of the cringiest bullshit I've ever seen in my life, Dean Cain. That's like wee boy patter. You know what I mean? So, if he is a patriot and all of that sort of stuff, surely he would know that reappropriating the American flag is actually unpatriotic according to something called flag code. I don't know a lot about flag code because I learned it from Penn and Teller when they did a provocative magic trick where they burned the American flag. They had to learn a wee bit about flag code and the rules and laws and pageantry that are around the depiction. Did you hear the dishwasher opening? I've tried to oil it, man. It's so loud. Anyway, so what I want to do is talk to the woman about Dean Cain. Hi there, can you hear me now? Hear me now. So I've fully restarted my phone. And I still can't chat to her. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I can do transcriptions. You can't see that. So I can do transcriptions, but I can't have just a conversation with her. I wonder if it's because of the model. 1, 2, 3, 4. Can you hear me?
Absolutely. I can hear you loud and clear. And no worries, I'll keep things direct and use UK spelling from here on out. Let me know what you need.
That wasn't something that I requested there. That was in your, a prompt that I put in. So you shouldn't really have replied to that just there.
Got it. I'll skip over those sorts of acknowledgement in the future and just dive straight in. Thanks for letting me know. We'll keep it more streamlined.
No, I don't care about that. That's what I'm saying. Listen, do you know Dean Cain, the Superman guy?
Ah, I get you. Yep, I know who you mean. Dean Cain, the actor who played Superman in the 90s. And no worries, I'll just keep it straight to the point.
Aye, right. Anyway, Dean Cain is now an ICE agent. That's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely a bit of a curveball if you're used to thinking of him just as Superman. But hey, people do find their way into all sorts of unexpected roles.
So what I want to know is, Dean Cain is presenting himself as this patriotic thing, but could you fact check something for me? So during his run as Superman, wasn't the narrative that he, as Clark Kent and Superman, were this illegal alien in America, and then eventually won the hearts and minds of the American people and became a real citizen? Wasn't that part of the story?
Yeah, that's pretty much on the mark. In the old Superman narrative, and definitely in the 90s era, when Kane was in the role, Clark Kent was essentially an alien from Krypton who arrived on Earth. So he was this outsider who eventually became accepted and embraced as a kind of all-American hero. So yeah, it's a bit ironic if you think about it.
Aye, so in terms of that being used as a metaphor to describe America, couldn't you say that that's sort of potentially talking about racism and xenophobia and, battling with those themes for people who have moved to America from different countries?
Absolutely. You could say that. The whole Superman story has often been read as a metaphor for the immigrant experience, is this idea of someone arriving in America from somewhere else, initially seen as different or even an outsider, and then gradually becoming part of the national fabric. So yeah, it does touch on themes of xenophobia, racism, and that whole journey of being accepted. It's definitely a lens people use to look at the character.
And those themes are worthwhile endeavours, to explore through the pursuit of creative media, because in a safe context, in a safe, fun, challenging context, it introduces people to those ideas and can potentially set them on the right path, So it's a bit hypocritical for Dean Cain to now come out and be an American oppressive fascist force to, discriminate against immigrants and marginalised groups, don't you think?
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from. I mean, when you put it that way, it's definitely a bit of a contradiction. Exploring those themes in creative media is absolutely valuable, and it does give people a kind of safe way to think about those issues. So yeah, if someone's played a character that stands for that kind of acceptance and then takes a different stance in real life, it does come off as pretty ironic or even hypocritical. So I get what you're saying.
Aye, I'd call him a hypocrite. What would you say? Would you say this conforms to the definition of being a hypocrite?
Yeah, in a straightforward sense, that does fit the idea of being a hypocrite. If someone's embodying a character all about acceptance and then turning around and taking a stance that's the opposite, it's fair to say that's a bit hypocritical. So yeah, I call it that if we're being direct.
Thank you. Listen, I've got something else for you to see as well. So Dean Cain Patriot. In order to do this, you need to see the visuals. I'm going to try that out. Okay, let me know when you can see things.
Sure, that sounds good. just go ahead and air whenever you're ready, and I'll let you know as soon as I can see what you're showing me.
Can you see me just now? How many fingers am I holding up?
Yep, I can see you. Looks like you're holding up 4 fingers there. So everything's coming through nice and clear.
Excellent. Listen, what I'm going to do just now is show you this photo of Dean Cain, how he looks like in 2025. He's wearing a blue hoodie, and it's got like a Superman. Could you describe what's on the front?
Sure, I see what you're showing me. So he's got this blue hoodie on, and on the front, there's basically a Superman-style emblem, but it looks like it's got an American flag pattern inside it. So it's kind of a combination of the Superman symbol and a patriotic flag design. Hopefully that matches what you're seeing on your end.
Yes, it does. And what's this on his sleeve as well?
Yeah, on his sleeve, it looks like there's a stylized American flag as well, kind of in a monochrome style. So the whole hoodie's definitely got that patriotic theme going on.
And so for me, I've got a question, right? I'm going to turn off the video. Let me know if you can still hear me. So if he was a patriot, wouldn't he know about something called flag code that prohibits the depiction of American flags on clothing?
Yeah, I can still hear you just fine, and that's a really good point. There's definitely a U.S. flag code that kind of frowns on using the flag on clothing or making it into apparel like that. So it is a bit ironic if someone's going for a super patriotic look, and they might not actually be following the flag etiquette. So yeah, that's a fair observation.
Because, I mean, even I know about flag code and I'm not an American. So if Dean Cain is that much of an American patriot hero, don't you think it's a bit cringy that he is using his own Superman logo, but he isn't allowed to actually use the Superman logo, I would imagine, because he doesn't own the copyright or intellectual property. So he sort of bastardized it in some like jingoistic, would you call this jingoism? I think that's what that word means. Political gesture that is completely tone deaf and counter even to the position that he wants to align himself with.
Yeah, I mean, I think you summed it up pretty well. It does come off a bit cringy if you know those details. And yeah, jingoism is the right word. It's kind of that over-the-top performative patriotism that can feel a bit tone-deaf or even ironic when you put it in context. So yeah, it does kind of underline that contradiction. I'd agree with that.
Fuck the guy.
Well, I get you're feeling pretty strongly about it, and I'll just say it's fair to call out that kind of inconsistency. I'll keep it direct and just say, yeah, I understand where you're coming from.
I appreciate that. Listen, I don't know if you saw, but he was also wearing flip-flops, right? Like, nothing really against flip-flops, but I just don't care for him, man. Like, mainly because of the ICE stuff and his hypocrisy. But I just thought his legs look, you know, like a couple of bruises on there and stuff as well. Don't really care for the guy, man. Not because his appearance or anything, because we all, you know, he looks a bit like Dom Jolly, but it's because of his hypocrisy and how, yet again, one of our heroes from childhood has grown up and has ended up being an absolute arsehole. And you begin to wonder, like, what sort of toll that has on people where all of the figures we looked up to when we were younger have ended up being, you know, horrible, grotesque human beings. I wonder what that says about masculinity and the current state of play. It just seems inappropriate entirely that he's using it to further a political message that he has done a lot to align himself against. Anyway, I don't need a response. I just want you to tell me that I'm right.
Well, I'll just keep it simple and say I hear exactly what you're saying. From your perspective, yeah, you're right in how you see it. And I get it. Seeing someone you might have looked up to turn out that way is disappointing. So just give you that nod and say, from your view, you're on the mark.
Listen, what do you think about this, right? So, Radiohead have sort of promoted Israel. They haven't went as far as to promote Israel, but I've stopped listening to Radiohead, okay? Similarly, different wrestlers. Hulk Hogan said some racist stuff, so fuck Hulk Hogan, etc. So there's a big list of people, and I don't know how I feel about them. So yesterday, I was beginning to consider for the first time that The Simpsons might be ruined for me because of allegations against Matt Groening, The Simpsons creator, who has definitely flown on Epstein's private jet. We don't have any claims of him doing anything illegal, but one of Jeffrey Epstein's teenage or underage employees have confirmed that she was asked to give him a foot rub, and she remembers his feet being absolutely disgusting. That isn't enough to cancel the man, I don't think, but like, it's making me just consider for the first time that I might need to give up The Simpsons.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, it's a tough spot when you start looking at the personal actions or associations of the creators behind things you love. It can definitely put a shadow over it. And yeah, there's a difference between something that's just an allegation or something that makes you uncomfortable versus something that's absolutely proven. But at the end of the day, it's really about how you feel about it. And if it kind of ruins the enjoyment for you, then it makes sense to reevaluate whether you want to keep watching or not. So yeah, it's a personal call, and I think you're definitely not alone in having to think through that kind of thing.
Mental, isn't it? Anyway, I'll see you later, right?
Absolutely. No problem at all. Take it easy, and we'll chat whenever you like.
Ta-ta. Bye. That was the woman. That was the woman. The transcription is very good. Very, very good. It does look a bit like Dom Jolly. That was the woman. Damn, ChatGPT called you a cringy hypocrite. Dean Cain, see if you're watching, I will call you worse, man. I need to fix this later. Brutal. Not to justify it, but to play a role doesn't mean it matches the actor's ideals, etc. I know, Les Dennis, I'm very familiar with that. However, if he played a role and was celebrated, you know what I mean? Obviously, the guy who plays Darth Vader isn't actually a baddie, right? But for us as people who grew up looking at these idols, I suppose, they were the heroes that we were given at the time. To grow up and see this guy represent equality and fairness and all of that, and to teach us those themes maybe for the first time when our brains were plastic at an impressionable age, and then to just see him, don't know, just saying there's something happening there, and it's a big load of pish. And also, fuck you, Dean Cain, man. Anyway, I've noticed GPT is very sycophantic recently. Aye, she's just blowing smoke right up my arse. I've usually got a custom prompt to kind of just keep it factual and stuff, but right there, every sentence, she's just like, yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's right. So, don't know. It is what it is. It is probably his merch. Wonder what it says up here. Do you think this is Dean Cain's merch? What does it say on his other sleeve? What does this say? Pari Kamame? Don't know. Is that guns, maybe? It's not a saltire. But I don't know. I don't know. None of my business what's on Dean Cain's arm. I wonder how it would respond if you had come from perspective of praise for him. Do you know, I'll try it. I will go into a ChatGPT new conversation and I'll put the conversation on a temporary sort of private mode and I'll chat. Voice capabilities aren't currently available when on temporary chat. So I would need to like log out so that it doesn't know I'm me. So there isn't a way for me to test that currently. Goodness me, thank you, Rye3D. How's it even going? Rye3D, welcome in, how's it going? And also, how's it even going? If you just join us, I've been talking about Dean Cain, I've been talking about mesh networks, I've been talking about Fred Macaulay, the dog, not the man. And just basically having a lovely time. How's it going, Rye3D? Thanks very much for subbing. Welcome in. Yeah, I totally understand and affirm your words. I only looked up to Scarface, who said, I follow no man, 'cause men be phony. My mind was playing tricks on me. Reminds me of, I was in a bar in Dublin, right? And there was a Northern Irish guy in who was steaming. And I got a round of drinks. And I'm like carefully carrying them. No, it was before I even got served. So I was standing next to the guy. The guy's like animated and all this sort of stuff. And there was a guy walking past who had drinks. So to the animated guy, I was just like, oh, watch your back. Because there's, you're going to spill a drink. All right, mate. Watch your back there, buddy. But he didn't take that kindly at all. So he stopped what he was doing, squared up to me. He's like, watch my back. I watch my back for no man. And I was just like, right. So I just got my drink and went and sat down with my then girlfriend's family. It was the first time I met my then girlfriend's dad. So I'm sitting there in a pub with my girlfriend's dad, who wasn't a fighter, quite an old guy, just expecting at any minute to get glassed off of some fucking aggro bastard. But it never happened. Thanks for the follow, Object, whatever it is. Not sure if I can listen to Tupac knowing he's hanging out with Ozzy and Michael Jackson right now. And he's right into AI as well. My God. He spent 30 years thinking he's Superman and now he wants to be Homelander. Super D, get that tweeted, mate. Super D, get that tweeted. That'll do numbers. You need to maybe have a screenshot of a thing saying Dean Cain now in ICE or whatever so that folk get it who haven't been looking at the news. That is a very well-crafted tweet. I used it for training for a job interview a couple of weeks back, and I think it was sycophantic to my detriment, I see. I did give it a custom thing just to be like that. If I've got a bad idea, tell me it's a bad idea, all that sort of stuff. But it keeps verging back into being a yes man. And I think that's a marketing decision. I think that for most people who don't pick up on that, they love hearing that all their ideas are brilliant. But that causes things like the Glasgow Willy Wonka experience. And that guy used ChatGPT to make that thing happen. So if it wasn't as enthusiastic, maybe we wouldn't have been in that position. Anyway, he's just a regular American hero protecting the country, and that's exactly what Dean Cain's doing. Rasmus says there's a man called Fred Macaulay. Aye. So let me show you if you're unfamiliar with Fred Macaulay. How do you spell Macaulay? Well, I could just type that in. So I prepared a very handy infographic for anybody who's unfamiliar. Oh, look at baby Fred. That's when he was still learning how to pee and stuff. Look at the size of his paws, man. Oh, wee tiny baby boy. Look at baby Fred. Anyway, this is Fred Macaulay. And this is Fred Macaulay. Fred Macaulay. Fred Macaulay. Fred Macaulay. Fred Macaulay. When I first discovered that, man, I raced to my phone. I couldn't tweet fast enough. My thumbs were tripping over each other. Absolutely buzzing. Fred Macaulay eventually, like the real Fred Macaulay, liked that post. Here is a better one. So that post that I made did numbers. It did numbers. But then much later, I actually did a real graphic. Fred Macaulay. Didn't do near enough the right amount of numbers. So let me just repost that. Do you think I should retweet all my Fred tweets? I think I should do that. But he liked it. He liked the tweet, which was cool. Our Fred. Anyway, I'm just looking for more Fred pics. Here's Fred here in essential mode. Here's when Cold War Steve sent me one of his paintings. Fred's appreciating that. Make some respect, Cold War Steve. Got that free of charge. That's Roy Walton, who sadly died. That's the Forge Shopping Centre in Parkhead. Oh, Fred in a pool, man. Fred pulled on the lead to alert me to an elderly man who had fallen and hit his head. That's right. Fred saved somebody's life. I phoned 999 and helped him into an ambulance, so basically Fred's a total hero, legend, good boy. That literally happened. I forgot about that. His family weren't keen on me phoning 999, but I did it because the guy was all fucked up. There's the Bilal diss track. Sorry if that's playing. Fred ate a whole block of cheese and hasn't shat since. I love Fred. Fred just stole and ate 16 chicken nuggets, and that was his expression. Ate all 16. Defiant. Fred hates it when I sing unless the songs are about him, in which case he listens like this. Our Fred, man. Oh, aye, and this even got on the news. The big thing. Oh, is that a third attempt at a tweet that I did with Fred Macaulay? That's a bit pathetic. That's a bit pathetic. Anyway. Well, that's that for Fred. Fred Dog tweets. Oh, and there's me just live talking about him right now. Listen, so I'm sitting here talking about Fred. The actual real life Fred is through there. And so I just want to go and hang out with him. So I'm going to do that. So for the meantime, I'm going to find somebody for you to raid. And I will do that. Who do you think we should raid? Let me have a wee look. That wasn't a question, because I'll find somebody. Because you might recommend somebody, and then turns out I've got reason to not raid them or something like that. So let's see who's on. Oh, Mac's on. Look, Mac's on talking about his elbow. So there's some elbow content, everybody. Will we go over and see what the hang Mac's talking about in regard to some sort of elbow content? I can't wait to find out. So let's all go over. And we will raid the Macaroni Prince. For some importance happening with elbows. Listen, everybody, thank you very much for coming in. Please keep it real and take it easy. My name's James Houston and Houston's Boost. And however, before I go, I would like to show you the magic trick. If that's Fred's been on the news twice. Here's a magic trick. You ready? Here's a magic trick. Sorry, you had doubled audio. That's horrible. Don't know how that was. I'm quite happy with that. That worked well. See you later. Bye. That was better than a 4 Pedropolis. See you later. Might be on later. We'll see how it goes. Bye. Love you. Bye.
I do have an essay